Yeah, he's a fucking weird guy. I mean, just in general, that Sean Hannity, fucking weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's
him and Kennedy, those dirty mix.
The thing about him too is that you're sitting with the guy who's supposed to be the pinnacle of health and the representative of America's health, and you know Hannity's just fucking ripping vape clouds, and blowing it in his face.
Yeah.
Not to be a dick, but can we get the smoking section? You guys still have that as Steak and Shake, right?
Trump's gonna bring back the smoking section.
Fine.
That's next. Bring back the smoking section.
That's why restaurants aren't doing good night anymore, because no one can smoke inside.
Bring back the smoking section and getting rid of seatbelt laws.
That's right.
That's next on the agenda.
Yeah.
That's, it's about freedom, folks.
Freedom to do what you want. Smoke and drive without that pesky seatbelt alarm.
That's right.
And we're removing all the backup cameras off of... Yeah. When you see the children that you're backing up over, it's very traumatic for the driver.
Back in my day, we drank out of the hose, and we backed up with our mirrors. Sometimes we turn our head, but sometimes not.
Yeah.
And these kids, it's just another screen. Got too many screens. They got the TikTok. They got the backup camera. Too many screens.
Yeah. Well, speaking of public health, it seems that while RFK was able to make it through the Senate confirmation process unscathed, despite his insane views, the same could not be said for Trump's pick to run the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, who holds many of the same views. Here's the Washington Post. The White House abruptly abandoned the nomination of Dave Weldon, the former Florida congressman who questioned vaccine safety, to lead the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention on Thursday, amid concerns he could not be confirmed by the Senate. The move leaves the Trump administration in search of a leader for the agency, which formulates vaccine policy recommendations, as a growing measles outbreak highlights criticism of the administration's public health response. The Senate Health Committee announced Weldon's nomination had been pulled shortly before he was scheduled to testify at a hearing Thursday morning. The withdrawal of Weldon's nomination marks a rare setback for a Trump administration pick. The Senate has confirmed every controversial choice brought to a full vote on the floor to date.
The White House push to abandon Weldon was partly driven by concerns about the political consequences of his vaccine views, according to 3 people familiar with the matter who spoke on the condition of anonymity to describe internal deliberations. A growing measles outbreak concentrated in Texas has become a cautionary tale for the consequences of low immunization rates and has intensified scrutiny of the Trump administration's public health response. Lawmakers in both parties have said they are worried about the resurgence of vaccine-preventable diseases. Several people familiar with the nominations process said Weldon's meetings on Capitol Hill alienated some potential swing votes. He was a dead man walking, said one of the people familiar with the nomination.
So there you go. Great. I would venture to say there's probably something else going on there, because a bunch of ghouls have been pushed through, and all of a sudden this guy's like at the last minute, they're like, wait, hold on.
It's just because he would have had to go through the actual the confirmation process while a measles outbreak is going on.
Yeah, kind of tough. But then who else is going to be able to from a Trump administration pick, really?
I'm someone who isn't a lifelong public anti-vaxxer. Like, this dude's a fucking crank.
Yeah. Though with RFK already confirmed, it really doesn't make that much of a difference. I mean, the biggest man in the land is also a fucking vaccine skeptic.
He's still the boss.
It does go to show, though, that when you're not famous and not a Kennedy, the political willpower to endorse your quackery may come up lacking.
Yeah, it's like that comic strip of like the big fat ugly guy being like, hello, and she's like, human resources, and then the hunky Kennedy's like, hello, and she's like, ooh, what a honk. It's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
You can be an anti-vaxxer if you're a Kennedy.
Yeah, they let you do it.
Your mileage may vary otherwise.
But moving on now to all the ways that Trump is destroying the economy and pissing off all of our allies with a pointless trade war. And the latest move hasn't just pissed off Canada and Mexico. It's got the whole world
the whole
pissed off.
Group chat is lighting up.
Yeah. Here's the New York Times. President Trump's sweeping tariffs on foreign steel and aluminum went into effect on Wednesday, inviting immediate retaliation from the European Union and escalating tensions with other trading partners reeling from his on and off approach to steep trade penalties. Mr. Trump's tariffs of 25% hit metal imports from every country that sells steel and aluminum to the United States. Many domestic steel and aluminum makers support the move, saying it will help protect their industry against foreign competitors. But the tariffs are expected to raise costs for American businesses that use foreign metals, including manufacturers of cars, canned food and drinks, solar panels, and other products. Some trading partners have vowed to retaliate by issuing levies aimed at hurting U.S. exporters. Canada, a major supplier of metal in the United States, said that it would impose new retaliatory tariffs on $20 billion worth of American imports, including metals, computers, and sporting goods. And the European Union swiftly announced tariffs on up to $28 billion worth of American goods, including bourbon, boats, and motorcycles. those conflicts could spiral into even bigger trade wars. Asked on Wednesday if he would retaliate against EU tariffs, Mr. Trump said, "Of course I will respond."
Yeah, and he did. So yeah, we're in a trade war with the EU now as well.
Not to mention the fact that a lot of these companies, specifically Canada, we've seen most of the posts and pictures come from, but a lot of these countries, aside from putting tariffs on our products, are outwardly rejecting them and promising to only buy Canadian or buy British. So we're actually accelerating the isolationism of a lot of other countries too.
And yeah, this is actually, it's been great. Like, as you'll recall, Trudeau, his approval was in the tank. He's still leaving office. He's in the transition period. They already found the new guy. But his approval ratings were in the shitter. And they have been pretty positive as of late because the entire nation of Canada is united around their disgust and hatred for what the U.S. is doing to them. The same is happening all over the fucking world.
The shift in positive reaction to more liberal candidates in Canada over the past couple of months, or not the past couple of months, past couple of weeks, it's been a significant shift to where if Trump had done literally nothing, he could have had a very Trump-friendly person in Canada. And because of kicking all this trade war shit off immediately, he's actually brought the country together against us.
Yeah, it's creating the easiest political layup for any leader in another country to just say, hey,
stand up to them.
Fuck the U.S., right? And the crowd goes wild. It's he's given them a gift.
Yeah.
But yeah, and here's some irony for you about those tariffs. Among the many U.S. companies publicly begging Trump not to do those tariffs on steel and aluminum is fucking Tesla.
Yeah, that's
it be your own damn self. Anyways, the trade war between the U.S. and EU is escalating pretty quickly, largely thanks to Trump's pattern of imposing tariffs and then getting mad and offended when the other countries impose their own retaliatory tariffs, which leads Trump to retaliate against those retaliatory tariffs with his own retaliatory tariffs.
Yeah.
Here's the New York Times. President Trump escalated his trade war with the European Union on Thursday, threatening 200% tariffs on European wine and champagne that deepened anxiety among businesses and consumers on both sides of the Atlantic. Mr. Trump's announcement, in which he called the European Union hostile and abusive, came a day after the bloc's leaders unveiled plans to retaliate against a batch of U.S. tariffs that took effect this week by imposing 50% tariffs on imports of U.S. whiskey and several other American products.
If this tariff is not removed immediately, the U.S. will shortly place a 200% tariff on all wines, champagnes, and alcoholic products coming out of France and other EU-represented countries. Mr. Trump wrote on social media on Thursday, the European Union's tariff plan came in response to a set of U.S. tariffs on steel, aluminum, and other related products that took hold on Wednesday. The 27-nation bloc explained that it would react to America's steel and aluminum tariffs in two waves. First, with tariffs as high as 50% on U.S. products including Harley-Davidson motorcycles and Kentucky bourbon, which will take effect on April 1st. And second, a series of measures in mid-April that would target farm products and industrial goods that are important to Republican districts. The European leaders have made it clear that they would prefer not to enact those measures and would like to come to an agreement with Mr. Trump instead.
I do like with a lot of these retaliatory tariffs, we saw this first with Canada, but they're like specifically targeting industries that are heavily concentrated in red states.
Yeah.
Just to rub it in. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of our... Just the bourbon and I guess Harley-Davidson's alone, although I don't know how much international, like... I know that it's huge, but I don't know.
No, American whiskey definitely gets play overseas.
No, I'm talking about the Harley-Davidsons.
I mean, I think, I don't know. There's definitely, they got fans.
Yeah.
They got fans over there, I think. I mean, I don't know how big it'll be, but I'm sure Harley-Davidson.
Harley-Davidson, who is very friendly with Trump, they did the Harley-Davidson show on the White House lawn last time he was president.
I think as a company, they've been kind of struggling for a while. Not a lot of growth there, so I'm sure they don't like that an entire market is now effectively closed.
Harley-Davidson tried to do an electric motorcycle cruiser. It is, my dad rode one. He's like, it's fucking badass. But no one bought it because it's electric and it's Harley-Davidson.
Does it make a sound?
No, well, you know, but they spun it off into a separate company. I think it's Livewire, because no one would fucking buy it because their whole the people they market to are like retirees.
The whole appeal is I got an enlarged prostate, and the only way I can get the piss out at the end of the day is if I sit on that Harley, if I sit on that hog, and it gives me a good shake. Yeah, you can't get that with electric.
And I can't yell at my grandkids anymore, so I just I yell at the world.
Yeah, with the electric motorcycle, I can't piss off all of my fucking neighbors at 6 o'clock in the morning when I go to work.
That's right.
Which is my right as an American.
Yes.
Meanwhile, Trump could not be any more clear that his trade war against Canada is a tactic that he's using to get them to let the U.S. annex them. It's ridiculous, but it's true, folks. Republicans will tell you, well, that's just Trump being his usual bombastic self. He doesn't really mean it. But how many fucking times does he have to say it before you take it seriously? This asshole genuinely believes that he can bully Canada into giving up its own sovereignty to join us, something they do not want. And he will not shut the fuck up about it. Listen to this shit.
And to be honest with you, Canada only works as a state. It doesn't, we don't need anything they have. As a state, it would be one of the great states anyway. This would be the most incredible country visually. If you look at a map, they drew an artificial line right through it between Canada and the U.S. Just a straight artificial line. Somebody did it a long time ago, many, many decades ago, and makes no sense. It's so perfect as a great and cherished state. Keeping "Oh Canada," the national anthem. I love it. I think it's great. Keep it. But it'll be for the state, one of our greatest states. Maybe our greatest state.
This man is single-handedly torching one of the closest international relationships that our country has ever had so that the U.S. looks bigger on a fucking map.
Long state.
And half the country has deluded themselves into thinking this is actually a really good idea and not one of the worst, most pointless diplomatic disasters in U.S. history.
They're dogpiling on Canada right now, and I do not like it. I, for one, do not like it.
Canada doesn't like it.
I love my Canadian friends.
And I don't think a lot of people in the U.S. fully appreciate how seriously they're taking all of this up.
Yeah.
It's given them, on the bright side, it has given Canadians a sense of unity that they
and it gave them a real taste
in a while.
It gave them the taste that they needed of authoritarianism to the point where they have now shifted back, and it appears as though the general viewpoint of the country has shifted. The Overton window has moved left because of Trump.
I don't know if it's moved left or right, but it's brought them together. And it's an easy layup for guys like Doug Ford, who's pretty right wing, but he gets to get this popular sentiment behind him because he's oh, well, they're going to do that to us. Well, I'm going to turn off the electricity to Michigan. People are woo!
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Show him, Doug.
I love this Doug Ford. Real man of the people.
We should give him some crack and see if it does anything to him like his brother.
No, it gave him superpowers.
Yeah.
Give Doug Ford the crack.
Yeah.
But don't tell Rodrigo Duterte.
And do not bring Tom Ford into it because he does not. He is the black sheep of the family.
Yeah. And Henry Ford, let's keep him in the ground.
Henry Ford, look, it's been a long time.
You think Elon's bad?
Yeah, you should go back and check out Henry Ford. Anyways, moving on now to, speaking of, Elon and his Doge boys. So the New York Times has been really great at regularly auditing the so-called Department of Government Efficiency's claims about the money that they're saving the country. And they've repeatedly found that the numbers Doge is touting are riddled with errors and much less impressive than they seem. But this week, Doge solved this problem by making it much harder to fact-check their claims. Previously, when it posted new claims, Doge, Mr. Musk's government restructuring effort, had included identifying details about the cuts it took credit for. That allowed the public to fact-check its work by comparing its figures with federal spending databases and talking to the groups whose funding had been cut. This time, it did not include those details. A White House official said that this was done for security purposes. The result was that the group's new claims appeared impossible to check. The New York Times, at first, found a way around the group's obfuscation. That is because Mr. Musk's group had briefly embedded the federal identification numbers of these grants in the publicly available source code. The Times used those numbers to match Doge's claims with reality and to discover that they had contained the same kind of errors that it had made in the past. Mr. Musk's group later removed those identifiers from the code and posted more batches of claims that could not be verified at all. That shift was a major step back from one of Mr. Musk's core promises about his group, that it would be maximally transparent. Oh no, Mr. Musk breaking a promise? I don't know how I'm ever going to recover from this.
He wouldn't lie about a second thing, though, would he? No. So yeah, I mean, yeah, every week the New York Times is like, okay, so here's what Doge posted today, and yeah, that's bullshit. So they just changed the way they post their big government savings by making it impossible to actually check on it.
There was another agency.
Just number go up.
I can't remember because there's been so many, but there's another one that was like, yeah, we're going to have to call back a bunch of employees that were fired and get them back.
Yeah, a bunch of them are doing it.
So even the savings that they're posting, which are inflated to shit and back, even the ones that are coming through and it's like, oh, well, here's some savings. No, actually, I'd be interested to see how much this whole fucking dance has cost.
Yeah.
When you hire, rehire, fire, tell people to do all this stuff when they should be working, have them email a bunch of stuff when you've already sent them home for the week.
It also came out, I believe this week, that despite Elon saying that all of his Doge boys were doing this out of a sense of patriotism and basically we're doing it for free. Turns out they are all on the like pay grade, the literal highest pay grade you can have in any of these departments.
Immediately too.
Yeah.
People who have worked in these departments for 20 years and they get brought into the highest pay grade to destroy those people.
So I guess he lied a second time. Will there be a third?
Mr.
I guess we'll
President,
see.
I don't know.
Anyway, as we've been covering, Elon's massive influence over the wholesale destruction of the federal government has made an already unpopular guy into one of the most hated people in the country and world. And his close association with his car company has turned owning a Tesla into a political statement that a lot of people understandably don't want to be associated with every time that they're out on the road. So there's been protests at Tesla dealerships all across the country and around the world. Tesla owners have been getting yelled at and shamed for their choice of vehicle. And even Tesla investors are turning away from the company, though for a lot of them, it's simply a matter of, wait, how the hell can this guy be running Tesla if he's running the U.S. government 24/7?
All right,
Tesla
Matt, good
stock,
job.
which makes up most of Elon Musk's fortune, has been in a
Teach me how
death
to play
spiral
Zombie
since the
someday.
beginning
I
of
have
the
no
year,
idea.
with no signs of slowing down. And it's pretty unprecedented. How unprecedented? Here's Business Insider.
Tesla has lost so much value in such a short period of time that JP Morgan analysts said they couldn't think of another comparable moment in automotive history. We struggle to think of anything analogous in the history of the automotive industry in which a brand has lost so much value so quickly, they wrote, adding that the closest example was when Japanese and Korean car brands lost sales amid diplomatic disputes with China in 2012 and 2017, respectively. The JP Morgan analysts wrote in a note on Wednesday that those historical cases were confined to a single market, whereas the decline in Tesla sales in 2025 is not specific to any one nation or geography. JP Morgan analysts cut their price target on Tesla by about 41%, from $230.58 to $135, lowering guidance on vehicle deliveries for the first quarter of 2025 to about 355,000, an 8% year-over-year decrease from the first quarter of 2024.
Okay, so holy fucking shit. The folks at JP Morgan, who know a thing or two about the stonks, they think Tesla's stock is going to drop by another 41%.
Another.
After already dropping by 50% in less than 3 months from its mid-December peak. And that's even after the literal president did a car commercial telling everyone to go out and buy a Tesla. Grim, bleak. I mean, it's conceivable that, I don't know, maybe some MAGA folks will, in fact, do as they're told here.
Sean Hannity.
But the trade-off is that the half of the country that doesn't like Trump has yet another reason to avoid the Tesla brand like the plague. And for the ones who already own a Tesla, I mean, they're in a tough spot because the resale demand for these cars has tanked, and they stand to lose a ton of money selling or trading in their Teslas. So in the meantime, a lot of them are putting stickers on their cars denouncing Elon or going so far as to replace all the Tesla branding with fake badges from other car companies like Subaru, Honda, Audi, Mazda, Chevrolet, Rivian, you name it.
It's funny because, especially if you ask Elon, people and Elon consider Tesla to be a premium car brand that is so far above some of those other car brands that people being desperate enough to put like a Honda logo on a Tesla is wild. Although I would say that Hondas are a lot nicer at this point.
Hondas are
and it's clearly much more reliable and safer.
beloved for their reliability
And safety.
long term and safety. I mean, with Tesla's very generic-looking sedans, you might get away with swapping out those badges. But with a Cybertruck, I don't think you're going to be fooling anyone, buddy. Maybe just drive your Cybertruck into the sea, like this one up in Ventura this week.
Yeah.
They said it was trying to trying to put a jet ski in the water, but
I know.
I don't know. I think you were looking for an excuse.
For Tesla owners wealthy enough to just consider their purchase a total loss, though, there are other options, and here's futurism. An angel investor turned dispensary owner has sold one of her family's 2 Teslas amid dissatisfaction with the company's boisterous CEO, and is considering a more dramatic fate for their other one. In a post on her personal blog, investor Joanne Wilson wrote that her partner suggested they let customers at Gotham, the luxury dispensary she owns in downtown Manhattan, use their spare Tesla to take out their frustrations on 420. We can give out sledgehammers, let people smash the car and film it for Instagram, Wilson wrote. It may go viral. That suggestion, which may or may not be legitimate, and we've contacted Wilson to get to the bottom of the proposal, was made after the dispensary owner admitted in the same post that she only got $2,000 in trade-in credit for her other Tesla, which she sold amid mounting disgust with Elon Musk's politics. Wilson joked in an interview with Business Insider about the fate of her family's Teslas, that if she and her partner, early Twitter investor Fred Wilson, decided to monetize such an event, they'd probably end up making more than the $2,000 they got at the Volvo dealership.
Yeah.
$2,000!
Yeah, $2,000 for I think it was like a 10-year-old Model S.
But still,
yeah, that's quite a depreciation.
also,
There was a while there, years ago, when Tesla was a brand I would have considered looking into, but every time I would look at like CarMax, I'm like, they're asking for like sticker price for Teslas that are 5 years old. This is ridiculous.
because there used to be a backlog of people.
Yeah, the
like
force-
artificial demand.
The whole thing has shifted so dramatically.
Yeah.
And now if you go on CarMax, especially in LA, they can't give these fucking cars away.
And a lot of that comes down to that awful deal that Hertz made where they just bought a fleet. And that was fucked up at the time too, because Hertz did this deal with Tesla. And because of that, Tesla skipped a bunch of people who were waiting for their deliveries to fulfill the delivery to Hertz. Anyways, those like 100,000 cars are just in the market now because Hertz, like nobody, people, they were trying to upgrade for free to give people
like,
Teslas.
oh, congratulations,
Nobody wanted
we
them.
upgraded you to a Tesla.
No, give me the Kia Rio.
Yeah, that was funny because it had nothing to do with politics or anything. It was just like when people are renting cars, they're usually going on road trips and they're like, wait, hold on. Now I have to factor in fucking charging stations into my itinerary? No, give me the fucking gas.
It's not that big of a deal, but if you've never done it before and it's your first time in an electric car, you're like, I don't want to deal with this on vacation.
Yeah, it's not. It's just a complication.
Yeah, it's...
Anyways, we still got more news to get to in the headlines half of the show, the second headlines half.
Yeah.
But first, it is time to let you know that this episode is sponsored by Turtle Beach. Woo. Remember the feeling of booting up your favorite game for the first time, the late night sessions, the epic wins, the sound of the lobby filling up with friends? Gaming wasn't just something you did, it was a whole experience. And the right headset made all the difference. Turtle Beach is bringing that feeling back with the Gen 3 Stealth 700 headset. It's like stepping into the golden age of gaming all over again, only this time the audio is richer, the surround sound is more immersive, and the battery lasts an insane 80 hours. No more crackly mics, no more missed callouts, just pure uninterrupted gaming, exactly the way you remember it, but better. For a limited time only, get 10% off your entire order with code WeeklyWeird at turtlebeach.com. Don't miss out. It's time to level up your game with 10% off at turtlebeach.com using promo code WeeklyWeird.
We have both been rocking this headset for a while now, and not only is it super comfortable, and not only does the sound quality definitely give you an edge, the battery life is insane. A lot of you are going to be very happy to hear this, but I have just started Monster Hunter Wilds. And it sounds great. It sounds great on the headset. It's nice having a wireless headset that you almost never have to think about charging. I mean, we all have that one friend whose headset always seems to die right when you're down to the last 2 teams. But the Turtle Beach Stealth 700 headset has an insane 80-hour battery life with quick charge, so you rarely have to think about charging it. And the Stealth 700 has the industry's first ever cross-play dual wireless transmitter system. That means you can seamlessly switch between your consoles and PC with just the click of a button. And it gets even better. While being connected to your console, the Stealth 700 can connect with your phone for music streaming, taking calls, all at the same time. Listen to your favorite songs while gaming, all done with the Stealth 700.
Turtle Beach doesn't just have amazing headsets, they have every gaming accessory you could ever want, and they're all high quality at prices that don't break the bank. From flight and racing simulators to controllers, keyboards, and mice, Turtle Beach is the ultimate gaming cheat code. Head to turtlebeach.com and use code WeeklyWeird for 10% off your entire order. That's 10% off your order at turtlebeach.com with promo code WeeklyWeird. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show. Tell them we sent you. Get the ultimate immersive gaming experience with Turtle Beach today.
And this episode is sponsored by Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kit. Are you ready to optimize your nutrition this year? Factor has chef-made gourmet meals that make eating well easy. They are dietitian approved and ready to heat and eat in 2 minutes, so you can fuel right and feel great no matter what life throws at you. Factor arrives fresh and fully prepared, perfect for any active, busy lifestyle. Lose up to 8 pounds in 8 weeks with Factor Keto meals. And that's based on a randomized controlled clinical trial with Factor Keto. Results will vary depending on diet and exercise.
With 40 options across 8 dietary preferences on the menu each week, it's easy to pick meals tailored to your goals. Choose from preferences like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, or Keto. Factor can help you feel your best all day long with wholesome smoothies, breakfasts, grab-and-go snacks, and more add-ons. Reach your goals this year with ingredients you can trust and convenience that can't be beat.
I just had delicious a pork loin with some green beans and it had this flavoring on it. It was like a very sweet thing. Anyways, it's very good. And 2 minutes for a great, delicious pork loin.
Yep.
Fantastic. It's fueling me for this weekend's marathon.
More time to train.
That's right.
Eat smart with Factor. Get started at factormeals.com/factorpodcast and use code FACTORPODCAST to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping. That's code FACTORPODCAST at factormeals.com/factorpodcast to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box.
All right, now into the craziest, wildest, weirdest headlines from around the world this week.
Still mostly just politics.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, the reality we're living in. Anyways, Elliot, take it.
Senate Democrats signal plans to advance GOP bill to avoid a government shutdown.
Chuck Schumer has pulled his glasses even further to the edge of his nose, and he looked down upon them and said, I don't feel like fighting tonight.
Yeah, this is disappointing because the House Democrats correctly were just like, no, this is bullshit.
They call it a clean CR, and it is absolutely not. It does everything that Trump wants, and all they're trying to do is get an actual spending bill that fulfills it for the next month before they can.
It's not even about any of that. It's that this whole thing, any spending bill would be an absolute farce at a time when the president and Elon Musk are just unilaterally deciding how the government's money is spent. By voting for a continuing resolution, you're legitimizing something that is not fucking legitimate.
Yeah.
You think once this budget gets passed, all of a sudden they're going to stop picking and choosing who gets money and who doesn't?
Yeah.
The
House Democrats can't fucking do anything.
Yeah,
they don't have the votes at all.
But yeah, I mean, Schumer could have made this a lot harder, or maybe
don't
even
feel like a
stopped
fight.
it. But he's like, oh well, they're just gonna blame the Democrats when the government shuts down. Or he's like, oh well, like if the government shuts down, guys, you're not gonna believe this. If the government shuts down, Donald Trump, he's gonna just start picking and choosing who gets funding and who doesn't. He's like, Chuck, that is already happening. Chuck, literally what's been happening for the past month.
Chuck, you could have had, this is an easy win after a week of looking like a fucking asshole to just do the bare minimum to push back.
He needs to be sent to the home.
He needs to be voted out.
There's been a lot of talk, a lot of people whispering that this is if AOC wants to move to the Senate, represent New York, now would be a great time to signal her intentions, because this is, God, like, look at my Democratic Party, bro. We're all going to the camps. This is just depressing. I guess by the time this video goes up, there's a good chance this will be triple confirmed.
If anything can happen, it happens on Friday, and this is when this is going up.
Does not sound like, I mean, also it's like Chuck Schumer's like, well, I mean, I'm going to vote for it, but who knows? They're, the Democrats, they'll each vote how they want to. And it's like, okay, so you're admitting you have no control over your caucus at all. Like, buddy, it's time to go. It's time to stop.
If you aren't willing to put up the fight, as we've been saying, although we did get monkey-pawed in the past administration, younger people are needed. I'm sorry, you just don't have the fight in it anymore.
Yeah, there's a lot of shitty young Democrats.
That's true, but yeah. Anyways, we'll see. Yeah, but let's move on. Federal workers return to the office. Custodial staff doesn't.
Yeah, there's another one for the Elon playbook.
The Twitter special.
Yeah, because he made all of the guys at Twitter work 24/7, and then he, to save money, he stopped hiring janitors.
Yeah, and then
it turned into it was just disgusting.
Yeah,
he did that when they ordered all of the federal workers back to the office after like half a decade of hybrid work and work from home. They did not take into account things like, oh, when you have twice as many people working in the office, you need to clean the bathroom twice as much. You need twice as much toilet paper. There's going to be twice as much trash.
Yeah.
They did not take that into account. So
That's how we got the 3 seashells. Too much toilet paper.
yeah. There's, so apparently these offices are just disgusting. Maybe that's on purpose. Maybe that's to further demoralize these federal workers.
Yeah, probably.
But, wow. Musk shares claim that Stalin and Hitler didn't murder millions. Public sector employees did.
Thanks for your input, Mr. Musk. If you could please fuck off forever, that would be nice.
Yeah, it's weird. Why do people keep calling this guy a Nazi? Just because he did a Hitler salute and just because he supports the German party that is the spiritual successor of the Nazi party? And,
He's gone on record multiple times now promoting the Great Replacement Theory.
And doing the classic, this is a straight up like Nazi, neo-Nazi talking point as well. Well, Hitler didn't kill anyone.
But
he's twisting it in an even more absurd way where it's like, oh, you like bureaucracy? Well, it sounds like you like the Holocaust then.
Yeah. And throw in some eugenics on top, and also his like baby-making quest to rule the world. It's seeming very
The Hitler part off the charts, folks.
yeah. If you have a scanner, it is pointing directly.
I can't be in this room for more than like 30 seconds, or I'm gonna get terminal Hitler particles.
Trump official tasked with defending Doge cuts posted fashion influencer videos from her office. Get ready with me.
It's just grifts all the way down. Yeah, this lady, I don't know what exactly her job is, but she works for Doge. She's like a spokesperson or something. And she's been posting videos in her government office on a daily basis of like her daily fits and with affiliate links to like buy the clothes. And
Is she a millennial? I mean, that's a millennial grind set.
I think she might be like on the very high end of millennial. Like,
That's the millennial
a
grind.
zennial. It's a Xennial.
Yeah, that's the grind set though.
Yeah.
Oh, you always have to hustle. It's a hard habit to break.
If you're not using every affiliate link you can, you're leaving money on the table, folks.
Look, this is the grind set that was pushed on us from the boomers. Because as everyone knows, Generation X was completely skipped. No one even knows they exist. They contribute nothing. In fact, they take everything and give nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish they didn't exist.
They should be eradicated. This Gen
They
X.
should be.
Yeah.
Send them to Gitmo. The whole generation.
It's all their fault. Look who they voted for last.
It is interesting that like the ideological trends, like Gen X stands out in the middle in a very like stark, alarming way. They all became like really right-wing and reactionary, like all kind of at the same time, like during the Trump years.
Yeah.
Like everything was sort of correlating in the usual ways, and then the Trump years come
It's
along.
making a lot of sense.
Yeah, the Trump years come along and like Gen X just gets like, takes a hard turn to the right.
I know I'm generalizing, obviously, but
Obviously.
they didn't have this major catastrophic event, whereas every other generation had multiple. And when someone brought that up, I saw like a month ago, someone brought this up and someone got very upset.
They had
like
challenge.
Yeah, they had the Challenger. And they're like, no one has ever experienced something so traumatic at school on live television before. And everyone just went, 9/11!
Yeah, that's...
The 2008 financial crisis!
Yeah, but like, 9/11, like that is insane to be like, wow, the Challenger explosion, the worst thing to ever happen on national television during school hours when all the kids are watching.
Yeah.
Can't think of anything worse than that.
Now, I remember, not that it was as bad as 9/11, although it was really fucking bad. I remember coming home and like just turning on the TV and seeing the Oklahoma City bombing. So look, Gen X beat it, all right?
Yeah.
Go to the retirement home early.
Go back. Go drink from your hose.
Go eat some fucking paint chips.
Justice Department official says she was fired after opposing restoring Mel Gibson's gun rights.
Okay.
Because he beat up his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Back in like 2011. Beat the shit out of her.
Yeah.
And
So you can't have a gun.
Yeah, they take away your right to own a gun if you are convicted of domestic violence. And because he's nice to Trump and they're buddies, the Trump administration basically, there is a process to try to like appeal getting your gun rights back after a domestic violence conviction, but it's like apparently never ever it exists as a formality. They're never going to do it. So this Justice Department official was like, okay, well, no. Just like with every other case, the Trump administration is just like, no, you actually have to give him his guns back. And they're like, I don't think so. And they're like, all right, well, you're fired.
I mean, he's literally the patriot.
Yeah, and what's the worst that could happen, giving this clearly just extremely alcoholic, erratic nutcase a bunch of guns?
Someone who has publicly proven himself unstable.
Yeah, it's insane.
Also, why does he need a gun?
So he can stop the looters from burning down his house. If he had had his gun, the Palisades fire wouldn't have happened.
You know who's been oddly silent for a while is that James Woods. The city of LA let my house burn down. Sir, we saved your house. Oh. Thank you.
Maybe he's looking inward. Maybe he's had a change of heart. Liberal James Woods, welcome. No.
Yeah. John Schnatter to Newsmax. Trump returned my freedom of speech.
Be more specific, Papa John.
I'm pretty sure you freely said the N-word multiple times and suffered very little consequences for it. You lost your business, but you are a fucking multi-millionaire.
So there's layers to this. First of all, the Papa John incidents happened during the first Trump administration. Yeah. Did not involve the government in any way. His fall from grace was literally his own company deciding that he was a PR liability. Because before the N-word incident, he also he wouldn't shut the fuck up about Colin Kaepernick, and was criticizing the NFL and was making he was ending up in the news and stuff.
And it was one of his biggest sponsors.
Yeah, it was this scandalous thing, and so all these board members were like, "Can you shut the fuck up?" And he's like, "No." And so
we have $1 billion deal with the NFL. Please stop.
They removed him as a CEO. He was still chairman of the board. And then when he was chairman was when the whole N-word thing happened. And they're like, all right, we got to let this.
This is
it had nothing to do with the government.
No. This is like if MyPillow had a board of directors. Mike Lindell would be like, it took my pillow company away.
Mike Lindell could be living high on the hog right now if only he had a board of directors that could have stopped him from himself.
Not only that, but John Schnatter was a prolific, historic drunk.
Yeah.
Just took a look up John Schnatter drunk, and there's photos of him being physically carried out of
just drenched in
Cardinals
sweat.
Games or something.
His eyes looking two opposite directions.
Yeah, I forget which team. He's in the Midwest somewhere. Missouri
he's
or something.
in Kentucky.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, he is that man. He looks like he's gonna pop sometimes. Remember that time when he's like, I've been eating pizzas all month.
47 pizzas in 27 days.
Yeah.
Russian officials criticized for giving meat grinders to mothers of soldiers killed in Ukraine.
Oh my God.
Sorry for your loss. We got you a gift though. It's a meat grinder.
Yeah, it's the.
What do you mean?
What do you associate with this?
What do you mean that's darkly ironic? Does meat grinder mean something else metaphorically?
Did they throw the meat grinders out of a helicopter when they delivered them?
No, they handed them to these mothers, these grieving mothers. Here you go.
Disgusting.
Meat grinder.
Oh, also, the thing that's happening right now is just so on its face obvious between the ceasefire stuff where it's Ukraine's all right, we'll agree to the terms. And then there was a whole day, a full 24 hours where the news was just well, I guess it's in Russia's court. And it's okay, so Russia's going to disagree to the ceasefire, and then you're going to say that we got to negotiate with Russia, and then all this is all theater, and then Russia's going to finally agree to the ceasefire, and the one they agreed to is going to have stipulations that weren't in the one that Ukraine agreed to, and then it's going to look like Ukraine fucking backed out of it.
It's Israel all over again.
Yes.
Where
they did this last June or whatever.
Yeah, there was 6 months, 6 months and countless thousands of deaths where Hamas multiple times was looks good. And
Biden, intentionally or not, leaked the agreed upon ceasefire at some point last year.
Israel would be looks good. Hamas would be looks good. And then Israel would be whoa,
hold on.
Whoa, buddy. I don't think so.
If we agreed to this, we would be collaborating with terrorists.
That's how they get you.
I should have been a millennial. The kids yearn to be chuggy as Gen Z's millennial hate gives way to millennial envy, and they're right to do so.
Yeah, I guess on TikTok, the Gen Zers, they're watching fan cam compilations of 2010s television shows.
Yeah.
And getting nostalgic.
Kids.
It's very funny because Americans are so susceptible to a form of nostalgia that is hilarious because your nostalgia for like shit that isn't real. It's like the way people look at like Norman Rockwell paintings. They're like, God, we used to be a country. Gen Zers are watching like clip compilations of girls in Broad City and shows like that and being like, wow, I wish I was 18 years old in 2008 living in Brooklyn.
Yeah. I mean, every generation goes through it, but it is specifically funny that it's being glorified what the 2010s were. It's if you want to relive it, all you have to do is go to the club, but dress business casual.
Yeah.
If you go to the club at like 11:30 at night, but you dress like you're going to work at 9 o'clock in the morning, you will fit in because everyone in 2010 dressed like they were going to fucking Thanksgiving dinner when they were going out to party.
I don't remember it that way.
No, me and you didn't, but people like, I don't want to name names. All the preppy guys.
If you really wanna live that millennial lifestyle, though, you gotta get a little mustache tattooed.
Well, I do have tattoos on my fingers, but not the mustache.
But you gotta get a mustache there so you can be like, and it was the funniest thing in the world.
Also, guys, stock up on sporks before they get too popular with Gen Z, before Trump bans them or something. People love poking badgers with sporks. And also, what else? Silly bands. Get your silly bands or your ultra thick bracelets.
I don't know
with words
any
on them.
of what you're talking about.
I used to have to do merch, so all this is selling stuff to these stupid kids.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I mean, like, being a millennial wasn't all bad. One thing I do distinctly recall is being poor all the time and never having money and struggling to find work.
I feel like I did have the advantage of like, at least LA felt doable back then because I wasn't making any money and I was sleeping on people's couches, but I could at least feed myself.
Rent a room for like $400.
Yes,
that was pretty cool.
Mine was the repurposed dining room that was turned into a bedroom that I rented for $500 a month.
Yeah. You could afford to live, but also it was hard to get the money to afford to live.
Yeah. Yep. But hey, that's what your 20s are for.
I mean, I'm glad I'm a millennial and not Gen Z.
I'm a millennial. Get me out of here. I'm going to get a print that shirt for Elliot that says, I'm a millennial. Get me to the retirement home.
Yeah. Get me the hose. I'm thirsty.
Glug, glug. Anyways, kids, don't worry because Gen Alpha will then look at your lives and be like, man, I wish I was a Gen Zer. I could have stayed home for 4 years straight when there was a pandemic.
Look what they took from us. Mm-hmm. Smaller, perkier breasts are among the biggest breast trends we'll see in 2025.
Oh, another thing is shifting away from butts and into tiny boobs.
I see you have some trendy tits there.
Yeah. When I was the chairman of the Itty Bitty Titty Committee, everyone laughed at me. Well, who is laughing now?
I do like, this headline is very strange until you realize the publication that did it is a cosmetic surgery outlet.
This is what people are gonna want.
Yeah, so they're talking about like trends in getting breast augmentation. They're not just saying like big tits are in, but I mean I guess they are kind of saying that.
No, smaller, perkier.
Yeah, smaller, perkier tits are in. They're saying like maybe this is a correlation with everyone getting on Ozempic and just like being skinnier in general and wanting their chest to be proportional. But sorry Tiggo bitties. That shit's so 2019. Mm-hmm. Look at you with your big boobs. Disgusting. Chuggy. Get out of here.
It's going to be really sad because we got boys bring in the big dick toilets. Small dicks are in. Oh, have you been over to Elliot's house? Tiniest toilet bowl I've ever seen.
Oh, I'm on the cutting edge of a trend here, folks.
It's about that big.
I got the world's first penis reduction. Doctor said, what? Really? Are you sure, sir? And I said, listen, I see something coming in the next few years.
I want to be ahead of the curve.
I want to be ahead of the curve. Yes. Make it small, sir.
Yeah.
Make it nice and small. I want to be able to sit on a toilet that's like just water at the top.
I could see penis people being like, curves are in.
Yeah, I mean,
we're doing curves.
In the Roman
periodontax disease or whatever it's called. What's it called?
The Roman and Greek times, they found big dicks to be quite vulgar. That's why all the statues,
very small penis.
Very small penis. They thought the ideal penis, very small.
Uh-huh. You don't want to trip over it during war.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rangers cap that featured slang Spanish vulgarity removed from team online store. This was across the league.
Yeah.
The dumbest. How this got past any approval.
It feels like AI because
Absolutely.
they ran a script or something like
The
that.
Boston one that said like Bosman.
Yeah, so they took the like single letter or like image logo and put it on top of the name logo. So each MLB team has 2 logos technically.
Yeah.
The one for Texas, so if you look at the Texas
It's a T.
uniforms, it says the word Texas, but then the smaller logo is just a T. So you put the word Texas, you put a big T in the middle, and what do you get? You get tetas.
Yeah.
Tetas, which means titties in Spanish. And there was also the Angels, it says like the anals.
Yeah.
Astros was ashos.
Good.
The Arizona Diamondbacks, that one, it just says Ariana.
Yeah.
Anyway, these hats are going for like thousands of dollars on
Yeah, because they immediately pulled them,
Yeah.
which also might have been intentional.
I don't know.
I doubt it. This really does feel like they just printed out a bunch of AI.
It seems like they just pressed a button and the entire job from making the logos to manufacturing them was totally automated and they didn't notice. No one noticed until this shit was being shipped.
I mean, baseball season's starting on Sunday, technically. I'm excited to see the new uniforms this year. Will they be hanging dong without any fabric to hide their girth?
I hope so.
Because last year you could see the players' penises.
I know, that's what baseball is all about.
Yeah.
Hanging dong.
And final headline, man accidentally shot self in foot while attempting to kill cockroach.
And it's actually funnier than it sounds. You're picturing a man pointing a gun at a cockroach near his foot and pulling the trigger.
No.
No. This is an old man who saw a cockroach and he's like, I'm gonna throw my shoe at that cockroach. But the shoe that he happened to reach for, that happened to be the shoe that he keeps his gun in.
Oh,
So
dang.
he threw the gun shoe and when it hit the ground, it fired off a round that hit him in his foot, thankfully. Could have hit him in a lot of other places. That's why,
Ironically, the foot.
you know, remember where you put your guns. Remember which shoes have your guns in them and which ones
I'm sure
don't.
if Mel Gibson started rummaging around in his stuff, he'd find some guns.
Probably. There's
Or at
probably
least
a few
some
left
props
over.
on guns.
Yeah.
Which is what he should have a muzzle loader, and that's what everyone else should have.
Yeah, that would be fun. Really level the playing field.
That's right. Well, it's been an hour, depending on the edit. That's too long. So we'll just let you go now. Make sure you click the like button. Have a great weekend. Oh, if you're before the end, if for some reason you're in Los Angeles, I'll be running the marathon. So come out to the street.
What's your number?
Well, I don't even know yet. I pick up my bid tomorrow, but I'll be around the 4-hour thing because I'm just chilling. I'm not going after a PR or anything. I just want to enjoy it. So I'll be around the 4-hour pace group. But if you're out on the street, yell at me and I'll say hi. Or I might be mean. I get tired and angry.
Yeah, you might have a pants full of poop.
That's true. I might shit myself, but I'm usually very nice, so I'll just wave.
All right.
Yeah. All right. So now you can like the video. Click the like button. Please leave a comment. It really helps us out. I saw in yesterday's video, someone said, every time I forget to like, and every time you bring it up, I remember.
Yeah.
So thank you to that person and to everyone else that does it. Leave a comment. Watch our other videos over here. Subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye. Bye.
These are the people running the fucking subreddit. These people are knowingly putting us and employees in danger by sharing this address with each other with malicious intent.
Is Google putting you in danger by putting it on Google?
So once I started discussing that we had an informant in the ranks that was sending me this kinds of stuff, surprise, surprise, the moderators deleted their accounts and voluntarily closed the subreddit.
Yeah, dude, normal people don't want to deal with frivolous litigation by a rich guy who has enough money to cause problems for them even when they are in the right. Normal people don't want to go to trial for defamation over what is ultimately not important, the reputation of a fucking mental illness YouTuber named Ethan Klein. They don't care about that. So what you're doing, it's a glorious day. Ethan Klein is streaming about me again. First, he dedicates 30 minutes of his failing podcast to me. Then he literally makes a main channel H3 Productions video about me. And now he's doing a podcast about me again. This guy is unwell. And I almost feel bad. But he's a Zionist, so I don't. We're going to milk him even more. Poopy Ethan Klein. Poopy bumhole Ethan Klein. Poo everywhere, Ethan. Poopy Ethan. I can't wait for this. This is going to be awesome. All because he can't respond on the actual issue of Israel-Palestine. So all that he knows how to do is to try and frame himself as the victim of like this incredible conspiracy that I am now apparently at the head of. And I'm like an international criminal. I have like 1 billion criminal charges against me and all this stuff. All because he can't deal with what I say when I refuted him. Incredible. No crash out this bad has ever happened. Amazing. This is going to be juicy. I'm genuinely stoked. Every time this dumbass goes live, he loses like 5,000 subscribers and I gain a ton of money off him. Every single time he does this, it just goes horribly for him. This man is unwell and I should probably feel bad about like benefiting from his absurd breakdown. But I don't. I'm sorry. Poopy Ethan Klein. This is why I don't believe the CPS thing as well. Because if CPS is actually investigating his family and he's going live and he's like twitching like he's on drugs and screeching about how it's all a conspiracy and Reddit and Twitch are after him and some guy named Bad Empanada is also after him and like he's the leader of this whole conspiracy, how would that look for the CPS investigation? He's surely not dumb enough to not realize they're looking at his online shit now. They know who he is, obviously. In the first place, they're investigating him because, again, I will play the clip. He fucking said on his own stream, just out there in public, that his kid had caught a parasite and that apparently his house was dirty enough that for him, he believed this parasite was caught through eating shit. I don't know why he just leaves this shit there on his channel. It just counteracts his entire narrative. We'll just play this for good measure again. I'm sure you've all seen it 1,000 times before. And then we'll go to Ethan Klein fucking trying to paint me as like an international criminal. Again, amazing.
One part of it. The next part is...
What's the next?
That Olive has Giardia, which is a bacterial infection in the intestines that makes you have diarrhea.
And Olive has this?
Don't you hate it when you get defamed by people making fun of you based on exactly what you fucking said on your podcast yourself?
Olive has this, yeah. She came to us with it.
Okay.
She had diarrhea and...
oh, poor baby.
Ducky came to us with that too. And I just wonder why...
Israeli.
It's relatively common.
It should be... They should have found it already. But anyway, so she has Giardia, so we have her on an antibiotic, but we had to wait until Monday, which is today. We just got it today. And, well, Sonny's crawling around. He's putting everything in his mouth. He's at that age. He has Giardia.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
And now Ela has Giardia.
shut. For real?
And now...
Imagine being a CPS officer watching this. Imagine being Ethan Klein and having CPS take concern about your children because of this clip, and you blame everyone but yourself for it. Because the problem here is the state of your house that caused this to happen. Nothing else.
I think this morning I had diarrhea.
Oh my god.
What can I do to not get it?
Yeah, I'm trying to...
Because I'm not trying to get it.
No,
crank the AC, maybe?
Is it?
It's extremely ridiculous to get. You have to ingest my poop. Are you planning on that?
There you go. Like, no one has to say anything. He says it himself. It's right fucking there. Exactly what I said is what he said. I'm citing him, the man himself. I'll keep saying it too. Ethan Klein, poopy Ethan Klein. He has a long fucking history of poop fetish, by the way. It's so fucking bizarre. You could make an entire compilation about it. Someone else should. I'm not going to, though. I don't make streamer compilations. So let's check out what he had to say about me on the podcast. Fuck yes! I hope it's longer than 20 minutes this time. My lord against Snark. Why is there like a blue-haired person in the middle there? Who the fuck even is that? I'm angry that person is there instead of me. Man, this has like 32k viewers. That seems low for them. So I just want to emphasize here the reason why he's doing this is because he can't respond to my actual arguments on the politics. So he's doing this thing where what he's doing explicitly is jumping onto a narrative that I went over in a previous video on my main channel. that was created by Argentine far-right neo-Nazis and Zionists who targeted me with a mass harassment campaign to try and paint me as like an internationally wanted criminal and like a convicted pedophile. So Ethan is like latching onto that to attempt to like do everything except actually address the facts in my video. So this is the video where I went over that, if you're interested in the whole affair. And unlike Ethan Klein's insane conspiracy video, I have actual fucking citations that directly show exactly what I'm saying. I have actual real police reports that I actually cite in the video that I've showed to the camera. Not like Ethan Klein just threatens and makes shit up. So let's check out Ethan Klein's Bad Empanada Crash Out. Woo! He's just going over the shit conspiracy video that he uploaded and reiterating everything about it. Imagine like you're a fan of this podcast, and I don't know what it was about once. I've never seen it until it was about whatever the fuck this is. Like maybe it was about comedy or something at one point. Though Ethan Klein is very unfunny, so I seriously doubt that. So you're a fan of this podcast, and gradually it just becomes the host just fucking complaining about people criticizing him on the internet over and over and concocting an elaborate conspiracy theory about that. Dude, you are unwell. Like, he's so angry about the fact that he can't bully me into submission by sending his fans at me to do death threats and just defaming me with this ridiculous narrative where I'm like an internationally wanted criminal or whatever. He is just so absurdly angry that he can't bully me into submission because it's what he's used to doing, because he's a rich fuck. He's used to just throwing money at his problems. He's used to having influence. He's used to being able to tell people what to do. He can't do it to me, and it makes him so pissed. I don't get scared of him, and it just makes him so angry. And I love it. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. This guy has never been told no in his life. He's being told no finally. You know, I'm not catering to the death threats of his fans, the racism from his fans. I'm not falling in line. He can't handle it. The poor guy. He's used to filing frivolous lawsuits against people to get them to stop talking about him. You know, he's used to like getting his contacts at Reddit and shit, as he said in his video, to ban people for criticizing him. He can't handle it when it doesn't work. You just know this guy's doing everything to try to get to me. Like, he's hiring private investigators. He's begging his lawyers to try and do something. They can't. Ethan has insinuated multiple times that he has hired private investigators to go after his targets, basically. Like, he is the doxer in chief. Yesterday, he doxed another random guy's Facebook account for leaving a mean comment. Let's watch Unwell Ethan Klein crash out further right after his Shopify.com ad. Apparently,
a huge team of experienced programmers. You know, it's just a small monthly fee, but you don't even have to worry about that, because if you go
great ad read, Ethan. Imagine your CPS and you look at this guy fucking shaking and sniffing. This can't be good for the investigation. Woo!
Destiny subreddit.
Let's go!
All of them accountable. Here, for example, is...
What is this? He makes a video on his main channel and he dedicates a podcast episode to just rewatching his own video and live reacting to it while having uncontrollable eyebrow twitches. Look at that still. Look at that fucking still. Look at this guy. He is unwell. This man. Look at him. He's The Rock. He just transformed into fucking Rocky Maivia. I can't believe it. I bow before you, Ethan. He just did the fucking Rock eyebrow like it's nothing. That takes talent. Involuntary talent, but talent nonetheless. Wow, I can't do that. I couldn't do it if I tried. I can't even raise one eyebrow like that, dude. I smell what fucking Ethan is cooking. Amazing.
Denims, aka Hassan Waiting Room, watching Bad Panada talk about the state of our house and how we take care of our kids. Let's take a look.
He lets his dogs shit all over his mansion, and he just leaves the shit on the floor, something that is probably related to the fact that his former housekeeper is suing him for a number of different reasons. True.
I pointed out, I cut this, but I pointed out, it looks like he's in a prison.
I am, Ethan. I'm coming at you from prison, Ethan.
Well, I said hopefully that's foreshadowing. Or maybe he is in prison, and Argentina is really progressive with their prison system. I don't know. But
it is. I've been in prison for a while. They let me stream from prison. They're all in on it, Ethan. How'd you know?
His house looks so fucking depressing. That is just... And, like, he's got the bars on the window, you see?
Whoa!
Yeah, bro, your walls are just empty in the whole fucking ass house? Like, not a single thing?
Usually I think the bars go...
I don't know, should I put all of my accomplishments on my wall, Ethan? Like, let's think of Ethan's accomplishments. I don't know. He's just grasping at anything, though. This is awesome.
Outside of the...
Why don't you have paintings on your walls? I don't know, Ethan. Maybe I'll put a painting of dog shit on your floor. Thanks for the idea.
window when it's like for protective measures.
I think
Why are
he
the
hit
bars
in.
inside of the window?
I think
You
those
got it.
are, as much as I want to believe they're bars, I think
They're
those
there
are
to keep me in from all of my many victims.
blinds that are.
Those are bars, my friend.
Okay, I see what AB's
actually,
saying.
Those are
Actually, I didn't see that.
what about this?
Yeah, I didn't see
Crossbar.
that. Yeah, I think you're
That could
right.
just be the pain.
Dude, it's bars. What are we talking about? This man, I mean,
What are we talking about? He's not in prison.
I know he's
Yes,
not,
I
but
am.
this is normal in places where they put the bars on the windows to stop.
Well,
prison.
sure, yeah, I guess.
That's what it is, but I'm just making jokes.
But they seriously usually are on the outside of the window.
It's not a
When it's not
joke,
for
it's
protective
true.
I think he
Yeah, that
must
does
be in
make
some
some
kind of
reason.
conservatorship.
Yeah, I don't
He's locked in some.
He's forced to do these.
He's
videos.
locked in some apartment somewhere.
Ethan, are you losing? Are you getting fucking wrecked by one single guy who does everything himself? Well, you have a whole crew, a whole studio, fuck off money, and you're losing to a guy who's literally in a conservatorship in jail this hard. I'm making you crash out and do entire podcasts about me. Ethan, are you sure about this narrative? Does this make you look good?
For his own good. They forgot to turn his internet off, unfortunately. No, he's,
Oh, no.
he's actually one of the sickest dudes on the internet.
let me do it.
Anyone that knows anything about it knows. I mean, this guy, I'll show you in this video, but he did a video.
Let's see.
There's so much, dude, to say about him. It's kind of insane. In fact, Bad Empanada,
You should react to one of my whole
didn't get-
videos and show everyone how bad it is. You should react to an entire video of
it's
mine.
in the video, but you're not going to be happy to know this, but people have infiltrated your, he has a Patreon, a Patreon for
I
people,
do.
sorry, a Discord for Patreon members.
Patreon.com/badempanada. You can get in the Discord for $1.
And they all have access to this place where they do they literally talk about doing psyops, faking posts, brigading, all this shit. And I have 4 years of all of his chats. There's stuff
That's
in
so
there that will
funny.
put him in prison. I'm
There's stuff
not
in
even
there.
fucking kidding. Like, he is a straight up. And so going through this, I was trying to figure out.
That's so funny. Let me show you the psyops. It's so funny. I'll just show you some of these epic psyops straight from my Discord. Search for psyop. We need a psyop. I'm gonna go to jail for this, apparently. This is the first result for psyop. We need a psyop in the H3H3 sub, encouraging Ethan to debate me because it'd be so easy. I'm going to prison for that one, Ethan. They've infiltrated my Discord. The Discord that anyone who pays $1 can join. They've infiltrated it. It's so insane in there. What other psyops have we got? It's over. I'm going to prison. Your Honor, they said to post on my Reddit saying that I should debate Bad Empanada. Case closed. It's over for him. It's the end. It is truly over. The psyops. You will never get away with this, Bad Empanada. A psyop, a so-called psyop, where I say that I want Destiny to sue me for calling him a pedophile, and that people should do a psyop in his subreddit, encouraging him to sue me. I want Destiny to sue me for defamation for calling him a pedophile, and then we can cite the definition of pedophile and play 5 clips where he talks about his attraction to 14-year-olds. Can we do a psyop in his subreddit? Destiny should definitely sue Bad Empanada and force him to prove in court that he's a pedophile. The tanky would have no choice. Put the idea in his head like Inception. I'm going to jail for that. Let's just say it's a terrible crime. Posting psyops on Reddit, that's a fucking jail right there. What else have we got? So, new Discord psyop. Post on the Vorsh subreddit that tanky Bad Empanada is attacking progressive YouTuber Johnny Harris and needs our support. Bad Empanada even uses far-right conspiracy theories against the WEF. Yeah, I'm going to jail for that one. What else have we got? New Bad Empanada psyop. Let's check out this one. And again, if you want to fact check me, just pay $1 and join my Discord and search for psyop. You can see all of our nefarious things that are going to get us sent into jail. New Discord psyop. Post this image with title, "Could Bad Empanada be any more anti-Semitic?" on Vorshvi subreddit. I'm going to jail. Jail is coming. Prison is coming. Well, I'm already in jail, so it's kind of jailception, honestly. This is going back 3 years already. I'm sure there's more nefarious psyops in the Bad Empanada subreddit, but you're gonna have to pay $1 if you want to search for them yourself. But yeah, as you can see, I am going to fucking jail for the content of this Discord server. That I think I send 2 messages in per week, and half of them are like yelling at someone for being annoying. So yeah, I am very excited to go to jail, honestly, for Discord chat logs that are just out there in public. And always have been. Thanks, Ethan.
What to do with it. And I think the best thing is just to release it to the public. And you
Just release it to... Anyone can join my Discord, Ethan. It costs a fucking $1. Release it to the public. Oh, man. It's over for me. It's fucking... I am done. I'm fucking done. My Discord server that is just completely open for anyone who pays $1 has smoking gun evidence. It's been there all along, and no one has reported it yet. That's all. No one knew about this until Ethan uncovered it.
That he has a PSYOP in there, that he's like participating in brigading like clandestine operations to
Clandestine operations! Like me saying, hey guys, let's bait Voice viewers into like calling up anti-Israel anti-Semitic. Calling an anti-Israel video anti-Semitic. Oof! Oh my god, guys, it's over for him. He's going to jail. He said, bait Ethan Klein into debating me. That is a clandestine psyop. This guy is honestly, he must be on drugs. What the fuck is this? He's straight up lost it. This is just funny.
To just terrorize these people is staggering.
Just to terrorize these people?
I think if I just release it to the public, people will just, every community should look through that and just see the fucking depths of evil that this guy is. Because
the depths of evil from my Discord server logs. Anyone can go there and look this up. Are you kidding? I encourage you all to go to Discord and search From That Empanada. See all of my posts ever on Discord, and you can see like how I'm leading an international criminal ring.
This guy's been going on a victory tour since October 7th. He's getting promoted by everybody. He's getting promoted by Denim.
A victory tour? Isn't a victory tour what you thought you would have after the content nuke? How's that going, Ethan? You're fucking crashing out over the same fucking losing a debate on Israel-Palestine, which is what this actually is now, still, that you are before that. Didn't go too well, did it?
Mike from PA, from Denim. Hassan has been watching him religiously. A lot of times. And the one guy I really want to shout out the most, this is someone I wanted to include.
I think it's fucking bizarre how he insists all of this stuff about me, but he never shows it. He never like actually goes over the videos that he claims I've made that are so bad and wrong. And it's because he knows he can't. All that he can do is like try and frame me as a wanted international criminal. This reminds me of like the one funny thing that Sam Hyde, who's a neo-Nazi piece of shit, I should add. The one funny thing that Sam Hyde's fans ever did was claim that every school shooter is him and successfully get news outlets to believe it. That's fucking hilarious. Ethan is like the kind of guy who would believe that. He just does it over and over again. He's just like, Bad Empanada is like a fucking international criminal mastermind. He's in prison. He's organizing secret criminal drug cartel operations on his Discord server. This is all just out there in the open, but I'm the first one to uncover it. This guy is losing to a completely solo YouTuber with no help, no editors, no nothing. You're losing to me. You're losing to a guy streaming from a prison cell with bars on the windows. Not just me, you're also losing to random Reddit moderators, neckbeards. What is going on, Ethan? You're a famous guy with a fucking podcast. What is wrong with you? Get help. I am an international criminal mastermind.
Too, but I never had a chance.
Let's check it out.
Matt Lieb. He works for Good Mythical Morning.
Matt Lieb. Woo! Matt Lieb. Excellent podcast. Check it out. Bad Hasbara.
And he is Bad Empanada. Here's what I'm saying about taking no prisoners. I don't care about anything.
I mean, no one cares about what you have to say about anything anymore either, if they ever did, so.
This guy is...
Yeah. Well,
this guy works for Good Mythical Morning, acting like he's wholesome, and he's bringing on somebody that wants to kill my wife, unironically.
Your wife, who said the other day that she wants to fucking disappear like some guy I don't even know, Andrew McIntyre. She says she wanted to disappear that guy. Your wife who raided like a fucking random Palestinian house in the occupied West Bank. I wonder if those IDF raids ever kill anyone, Ethan.
Or in a video.
Your wife is a terrorist, though.
I mean, he is pro-terrorist. I mean, he says, he literally said on Twitter that he looks forward to masturbating to the videos of dead children from Hamas.
He's just sliding defamation again. That's incredible. That's incredible. Ethan Klein has said this before, claimed that I said that I want to rape Israeli babies or something, which is a fake tweet made by Argentine far-right / organized Shiriani collective Zionist mass harassment campaign to attempt to get people to kill me. Something that I literally have the fucking police reports to prove, by the way, as I went over in my video about this. And Ethan Klein's first engagement with me debunking him on Israel-Palestine was to cite that fake tweet immediately and like spread defamation from the Israeli like the Zionist organized harassment groups and like the Argentine far right. Hold on, let me find it. this video here. I'll play the part where I go over how this is fake. Check it out. Debunked in advance.
So the Shirion Collective doesn't really exist anymore, though its users are still around. It sort of collapsed because in June of last year, the leader of the group, who was paying its participants to dox and harass people and attempt to incite others to kill them, was ousted then as Daniel Linden, who's basically one of those guys who manages accounts on OnlyFans. I mean, come on, dude.
Right? And the guy who led like this defamation campaign against me is like a fucking pornographer. Of course.
That the group sort of fell apart. It was basically a Telegram group through which they coordinated harassment campaigns against people.
This is the people who Ethan is siding with, by the way. Shirion Collective, this organized harassment group. In that Telegram, you can see here them posting images of dead Palestinian children and celebrating their massacre. This is who he is in line with for media and like mass reporting campaigns and stuff like that. So initially, Shirion started responding to me, spamming like fake screenshots they made of me, accusing me of the same sort of stuff that the Argentine far-right was. But it kind of failed to get much attention, despite their best efforts. Because at the end of the day, no one really followed their accounts except a bunch of bots and members of the organization itself. So they didn't really have much reach. On January 12th, 2024, they made this fake screenshot and started posting it everywhere, but they didn't really get much dissemination outside their own circle. So at that point, they decided to try and enlist someone with a bigger following to spread their defamation against me. And the guy who ended up doing this for them was a total loser known as Drew Pavlu. Drew Pavlu is basically a guy who, ever since he was like 18 years old, has been doing nothing but framing himself as like a really brave anti-Chinese government activist while failing completely to ever actually hold down. Do we need to go over fucking Drew Pavlu? I feel like we don't, but I'm playing it
job
fast
or anything
enough
at all. And a couple of years into that grift, he got noticed by Australian far-right financiers, chief among them a guy named Simon Fenwick. Simon Fenwick is a far-right millionaire who is deeply involved in the funding.
Ethan, you might notice how I have receipts for everything that I'm saying here. I have proof. I don't have baseless shit I made up like you do. You should learn. Proof matters. Evidence matters. Because the thing is, I'm not making this up. You're making your harassment campaign up.
Of many, many causes on the far right in Australia and also, coincidentally, pro-Israel groups. So Drew Pavlu ended up getting hired by Simon Fenwick to shift from his previous grift, which was like, I'm critiquing China from the left.
Also notice how I'm not twitching uncontrollably. It's a good sign that I'm not lying like you are.
Aggressive to a new grift, which is much more openly right-wing and very much overtly pro-Israel. And this is very much a matter of public record. There was a case where Drew Pavlu was forced to disclose who pays him. Turned out that he received $25,000 from a company owned by Simon Fenwick. He's also openly thanked and praised Simon Fenwick numerous times for his support. You know, it's open, it's clear, it's obvious that he's getting paid by this guy and possibly by others to basically just be a far-right troll online who defames people in mostly abortive attempts to get them to stop critiquing the causes that Simon Fenwick and others like him support. And Pavlu's horrible behavior under the influence of this far-right money became so extreme that he actually ended up getting expelled from Amnesty International for it. So Shirion evidently got in contact with Drew Pavlu, and he was very, very happy to start spreading the same stuff that they were spreading about me. And this new defamation campaign was centered around the screenshot that Shirion had fabricated and started trying to spread.
This is the fake screenshot that Ethan is talking about, which was fabricated by this pro-Israel harassment group and then passed to Drew Pavlu, who's a member of the Shirion Collective.
3 days earlier, and wouldn't you know it, the fake Discord screenshot from that Vosh subreddit post that we went over at the beginning of the story. Interestingly, this also followed me getting a number of messages from Drew Pavlu, which included things like my passport number and my address, and this happened on December 2nd, 2023, which was more than a month before he and Shirion Collective's doxing and defamation campaign against me began, which happened on January 12th to 15th, 2024. So I think it's pretty clear that they had this planned in the pipeline for quite a while. Also very interesting is that right exactly around the time this was happening, I found this out a lot later, but the YouTuber Keffels, bizarrely, was doxing me at the same time. Like she openly said in a DM with someone.
Isn't it fucking weird how like all of these fucking people just get fucking dominated by me so much on my second YouTube channel so effortlessly that they all like hire fucking private investigators to dox me and shit and do like psyops to infiltrate my Discord by paying me $1 on Patreon. I fucking like break people's brains. It's crazy.
Well, I guess that's not open, but she said
I barely even tried.
I believe was her editor in DMs that were later leaked, that she hired an Argentine private investigator to find my address and my docs and all that sort of stuff. So I have to, wonder if there was some sort of link between this and this Shirion Drew Pavlu doxing / defamation campaign. That would be fucking wild. It's just really suspicious that all this was happening at the same time. Like Keffel's doxing me, Drew Pavlu and Shirion doxing me and defaming me, and the Argentine far right doxing me and defaming me. Literally all happened in December 2023 and January 2024. So let's take a look at the new reported screenshot of something that I purportedly allegedly posted according to these people, which they were using to accuse me of basically, the sort of thing that gets people to hunt and kill you. Obviously, for precisely that reason, that's what they wanted to happen to me. So you have the original Vosh subreddit screenshot, which I went over, and then you have this reported screenshot, which, spoiler, isn't real. If you're a regular viewer of this channel, you might remember this tweet from Ethan Klein, noted genius, holding it up to the camera in one of his anti-Hassan rant videos and saying, this is a real tweet. Keep it in mind too, because it's going to come up later when we get to the Kraut part. So before I provide like really smoking gun evidence that this is just plainly faked, I want you to look at it and think with your brain so we can have at least some sort of like teaching moment here. Does anything seem off about this to you? I would say that like someone tweeting something like this, it probably wouldn't get like 4 replies, 122 retweets, and 223 likes. You know, I don't think that's very likely. You also have to think like, who types like this? I certainly don't. I don't think I've ever said anyways in my life. Thirdly is that who even claimed that Hamas raped a bunch of babies and kids? Did anyone make that claim? As far as I know, they claim that Hamas massacred 40 babies, which never happened, and actually only 1 baby in total was found to have died on October 7th. So it's like a perfect storm of things that should clue you in immediately that this is fake. Social media screenshots are pathetically easy to fake. It's really like Facebook grandma stuff at this point to see something like this and just immediately believe it uncritically. But anyway, so my account was suspended on the date that this screenshot purports to have been posted. So obviously I could not have tweeted it anyway. I do really wish that I had been on Twitter on October 7th, 2023 though. God, that's actually one of my biggest regrets ever. I'll never get to have that chance again. It was only unsuspended on November 6th after I did the thing, which if you don't know is commonly works on Twitter, where you say like, I am a far right like Trump supporter and I was mass reported by the cancel culture police, please unban me, and then they just unban you. So I did that and they unbanned me, and that was in November 6th, as you can see here. So I literally could not have posted this, aside from the fact that it's obviously fake anyway. You know, what a coincidence that the first time this screenshot ever actually appeared was in January, 3 months after it was purportedly posted. Wow, it's almost like that's when someone made it. Nonetheless, of course, these people aren't interested in the truth. They're interested in defamation. They're interested in shutting down anyone who's against, you know, oh my God, that describes Ethan so perfectly. Melee or against Israel. And for them, that is what spamming this fake shit and these obviously defamatory false allegations is all about. And ultimately, that's really what it is for like a lot of the people aside from them who also see this sort of thing and then start spreading it. They're just interested in like...
So the next part about this, if you're interested in watching this further, you know, go watch the video yourself. The next part is about how these screenshots were then taken as real by far-right people who then tried to go to where I live and kill me. And unlike Ethan, I show the police reports and stuff to show it this actually happened. I show all the evidence that this actually happened. I don't just claim there's a harassment campaign, I provide evidence. Now, I'm going to provide you all with further evidence of Ethan Klein spurring attempted killings of people, threats against people, because that's what Ethan Klein basically tries to do now. It's his entire internet presence is to like point at people, say, this person is like an unhuman, a subhuman. They have wronged me in ways that I will describe, but I won't provide any proof for. Audience, go after them. Then, of course, his audience goes after them. So let me show you what happens to you when Ethan Klein tells people to go after you. Just a little taste of some of the threats that I have saved. He knows that he can't actually beat us on the issues, so he's attempting to weaponize his remaining audience to get us killed. It simply is that. So here is a message from a swell fellow. I got this swell message from a guy who literally messaged me from his business Instagram account where he's like a tarot reader in Mexico. Very fucking bizarre. But he said, when I find your data, I'm going to send my Argentine friends to your parents' house. And if you are in Argentina, your house will be burned. And he sends me a picture of a woman's face. I don't know who this person is. I think it's someone who made an anti-Ethan Klein video that he hates. And a picture of himself masturbating that I have obviously censored. And then he says, publish this for your mother, and specifically, if you are in Argentina, you are fucked. Very wonderful Ethan Klein fan there. Very good experience. 10 out of 10. Who else is there? Who else will we showcase? Just a little taste of it. I could make a whole video of this to like epic music or something. Everyone's best friend Kyle had this to say. Everyone loves a good Kyle, don't they? Let's check him out. Kyle let me know that I deserve a bullet in the head and I should go fuck a goat because according to him, I'm a stupid Arab fuck. I mean, not surprising for Ethan Klein's fan base. Then he said, looking like a piece of shit, go die in Afghanistan, fucking a dirt hole. And he called me a towelhead. Ethan Klein's fans really like the racial slurs, don't they? Never saw that coming. It's almost like Ethan Klein is a racist streamer who hates Arabs. Never knew that. Isn't it funny, like Ethan Klein's example of him being harassed is just like people calling him an idiot? And my example of Ethan Klein's fans harassing me is them literally telling me like how they're graphically going to murder me. we have this great Ethan Klein fan who sent me an image implying that he was going to murder me with a 9mm handgun. This is Mr. DD Slick. You can get a nice picture of him there. It's probably not him, probably like some guy, but you know, 9mm, he says. Wow, I wonder what that means. Who knows? Very indecipherable. No one knows what that means. It could be anything. Great comments from Ethan Klein fans here. We have Earth is dying. Not just saying go to hell to me, which, you know, would be fine, except unless you're Ethan Klein. If someone says go to hell to you, it's the worst thing in the world. By the way, I got so many of these death threats that I do not believe that Ethan Klein gets anything like this from his so-called haters, because there's simply no way he would show them. There's no fucking way. I hope we don't find out anything personal about you. Said the great Earth is dying. Thank you, my friend. What else have we got? We have another extremely nice Ethan Klein fan who has something to tell us about knives and my neck. Let's check that out. Glorious fan of Ethan Klein, doing what Ethan Klein wants his fans to do. He says, you better watch your back. I will stab you. I will 110% attack you with a knife, and I will aim for your neck. Do you understand, you subhuman freak? You look like your dad married a goat. Oh, and don't forget, there is no genocide in Gaza. Ethan Klein's fans tacking that on at the end. Surprising. I'll be back in Argentina soon. I will find. He says he'll find me and he'll put a knife in my neck. Wow. Brilliant Ethan Klein fan. I mean, we get the point, don't we? There's some others as well. Many others. Many more death threats, but I want to highlight some more racism before we move on, because it's incredibly telling how incredibly and openly racist Ethan Klein's fans are. This is Mr. Lev Kravchenko, a very fantastic SpongeBob fan. He's got some stuff to tell us about Arabs, which he thinks I am, apparently. Because, you know, Ethan Klein has literally been zooming in on my beard and claiming that it's an Arab beard. It's obviously why his fans assume that. Let's take a look at what this fella had to say to me, following Ethan Klein attempting to incite people against me and failing miserably, aside from these fucking losers doing so. This guy says, do you think people want to listen to a sand N-word from Argentina with a crush on another man? We got the homophobia in there as well. Ethan Klein's fans just seem to hate, like, every minority. They hate all of them. Crazy, right? They throw all the fucking isms in there. Great. So that's just a taste of what actual harassment is like, not people critiquing you on Reddit. It's Ethan Klein sending those people at you. So that makes it easier to understand why people other than me have gone, like, just successfully harass him into silence. Because when Ethan Klein does this to you, that's what happens. When Ethan Klein lies about you, he spreads some bullshit narrative about you, he tells his fans to do this stuff, and it's what predictably happens, obviously. Anyway, let's continue now with that in mind. On Ethan Klein, like, just pointing at Matt Lieb for supposedly platforming me. Oh wait, so
right
something
there.
that I
Still
forgot.
sitting there,
The
dude. I had
Ethan
3
Klein
shots
Boston
and
bombing
couldn't
video.
finish it.
We have to watch that. As I said, I don't need to defame Ethan because he has factually touched himself while he filmed him to a video of what he called a juvenile.
Anyway, ignoring the camel, fucking that fat, juicy
What is
juvenile
this?
vagina.
Bro.
I'd like to not watch this anymore.
Look
I
at
hope
me.
that
Kill
Ethan
it.
Klein talking about juvenile vaginas is good enough. You guys can imagine the rest, okay? This is a few things make me uncomfortable to not want to watch, and this is one of them. I don't have to make things up about Ethan because he's on fucking camera saying this shit. I don't have to defame you like you have to defame me, Ethan, because you actually do the things that I accuse you of. It must fucking hurt you so fucking bad, doesn't it? Doesn't it? You little bitch, you can't bully someone and they have all the receipts on you and you got fucking nothing on them. Oh, it pains you so much, Ethan. Oh, you rely on harassment, bullying, just being rich and silencing people with illegal threats and shit, and it's not working and you can't deal. You can't fucking deal, you fucking tiny little bitch. She's gonna divorce you soon. She's gonna divorce you, Ethan. It's coming. Anyway, so what Ethan Klein does is just make a bunch of like out there batshit statements about me like being a prisoner, defamation about me being a pedophile, and then what he does is say, like, how dare Matt Lieb talked about Empanada without providing any actual analysis of what me and Matt Lieb talked about. Like, watch the fucking video if it's so bad that he talked to me. I must have said such bad shit in there. You should talk about it, and even better, you should debunk it. You should debunk what I said, Ethan. Oh, you fucking can't. That's what this is all about. That's what this is all about, just demanding that people be cancelled and that your fans harass them because you can't fucking deal with the facts on Israel-Palestine. And it's all coming crashing down, Ethan. It's all coming crashing down. You're too incompetent defending Israel for the raider of Ramallah, Gila Klein, Ethan. I got you. I got you. You are psychologically damaged. And it's all because I know the truth and I say it. Ooh, hoo, hoo, hoo.
And Matt Lieb was like, this is the guy I want to have on.
Hell yeah.
And of course they talk about me. He's evil. I mean, he's just a disgusting fucking piece of shit.
He's evil.
And I think it's insane that Good Mythical Morning and hire somebody for their whole...
This isn't true. Good Mythical Morning specifically hired me for this. Good Mythical Morning got in contact with me and they were like, we love your work. It's so fucking... I don't even know what Good Mythical Morning is, by the way. But I want to make clear that I was specifically hired directly by Good Mythical Morning. I just love causing problems. I'm sorry. And they got in contact with me and they were like, Bad Empanada, we need you on Matt Lieb's podcast, which we manage directly. Everything that he says on there is our collective opinion. We need you on there now. I need to endorse you. International criminal, Bad Empanada, you anti-Semite. It's fucking awesome. That's what he believes.
Some show
I'll play into it.
Would have
Like, the best way to deal with someone like this is to just play into their fucking delusions. It's so great. Like, I've been playing into his delusions the whole time. I'm like, Ethan Klein, it's me, Ethan. It was me all along. I'm behind it all. I'm in cahoots with the CEO of Reddit and the CEO of Twitch, Dan Clancy. Or is Dan Clancy the Destiny Orbiter? I don't know which Dan it is. One of them is a CEO, or the other one is. The other one isn't. But I'm in cahoots with all of them, Ethan. It's me, Ethan. It's me. All of your problems are caused by me. I am evil. I am the mastermind behind it all, Ethan. I wish I had a longer beard so that he could, like, point at me and say that I look too Islamic. It's all me, Ethan. It was me all along, Ethan. It's me, Ethan. It's me. Every problem that you have is because of me.
Bad Empanada on their podcast.
Hell, why don't you play?
At least everyone knows these other people are scumbags. Matt Lieb is like somehow snuck under the radar.
Thing to see because I've just watched.
He's actually watching the video. This is a huge mistake, Ethan. What if we say something that you can't refute?
So many people, kind of like audiences who once very much enjoyed someone like Ethan Klein or others as well. Watching.
This is the guy, by the way, just to remind you, who called AB a house slave.
Yeah, I did.
For saying I'm a good parent. So
yeah, AB is better trained than your dogs are. He doesn't shit everywhere. He does what you want him to do.
Yeah.
People kind of like...
There's no civilized world where this guy's on your show.
Oh,
you can't have this. I mean, this is like having a Kanye West on your show and being like...
There's no civilized world where Israel...
You're trying to compare Bad Empanada. I mean, you're really... you are doing everything you can to lift this man's profile. You're saying everyone else is doing you. If you didn't talk about this, it wouldn't... It's exploding now. You are a mistake, or you're making the best decision in your life because about this.
Israel exists. There's no civilized world where your wife raids random people's houses because it's like an adventure for her. There's no civilized world where your wife says live on stream that Yoav Gallant is a great guy. There's no civilized world where you touch yourself live on camera while Hila Klein films you to a fucking teenage terrorist victim and talk about her juvenile vagina. You know, even certain things just shouldn't exist in a real civilized world. Unfortunately, we don't live in a civilized world, and that's why you have a fucking podcast. Because in a world that was based on meritocracy, you'd be in the mines, Ethan, and you know it.
Kanye West, everybody. So let's talk about some racist shit and pretend.
Oh my God, he didn't even watch it. Sorry, I thought he would watch it. He just skips over it. Obviously, Ethan Klein is never going to watch what anyone actually fucking says and try to refute it. He just says that people are crazy. You should ignore them, and then he moves on. Point proven. Got him.
Well, that did happen with Alex Jones.
Say what?
That did happen with Alex Jones. Alex Jones brought him on.
Yeah, but that's Alex Jones. People take this guy
I'm Alex Jones. Fuck yeah, I'm Alex Jones.
Kanye going on Alex Jones is a meme. Nobody, you know what I mean? Like, nobody's changing their mind.
Kanye West is not just a fucking meme. Kanye West doesn't affect anything. Kanye West is like a dangerous fucking influential Nazi. You're whitewashing Kanye West now, you bizarre fuck. What the hell? I influence things, but Kanye West doesn't? You are crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
Version of themselves where they are just
I got you, Dan.
obsessed with.
He's watching it. Oh my God, it's better than I would ever expect.
The petty things about this subject, you know, where they're not even, they don't, it's like.
Anyway, go check it out yourself. I didn't mean to pull up this link.
Anyway, go check it out yourself. What he means by that is go harass these people, obviously. He doesn't actually want them to watch the fucking video. He doesn't want to watch the video himself, especially because once we say something, he has to refute it, and he can't. So he has to skip it. He has to close it. Fucking moron.
The computer's tripping balls. Did the water seep in?
Yeah, maybe
you dropped an entire car.
High production value podcast.
Might be a blessing, Sky.
Play the
Tom's music starts playing, you know something fucked up. So my laptop appears fine. It just the TV signal got scrambled.
I'm having a fucking great time here. Ethan Klein is not.
Dan is on the move.
Every time he talks about me, it's like, fuck yeah, lazy ass content. I spend like an hour and a half talking about this dumb fuck, make a ton of money. Soon, you know what's going to happen? I'll be in the mansion. Woo!
Dan has rejiggered the HDMI cable. He has taken it out. He has unplugged it and replugged it back in. And Dan and his infinite.
What else does he say about me? Like he's like, go brigade, bud, Hasbara. He's like, look at these guys, brigade them.
That's why he's Dan.
This is what Ethan Klein does. He just tells you to go and harass people. This is the Go and Harass This Guy podcast. It's like group harassment session. It's amazing, right? What great content. This is for people who like want a truly interactive stream. Like every 5 minutes, Ethan Klein is directing you to go and send messages to a new person or their mother or their underage daughter. You never know who it could be. Spin the fucking wheel. Who is Ethan going to tell you to send death threats to today? You never know. That's what this is. It's like a truly interactive streaming experience. I get it now. Ethan Klein is a pioneer. He's pioneering like collaborative live doxing. I understand what the appeal is. I just realized it. That's it. That's what it is. They just go harass this guy. Look at this guy's Facebook. Look at his mother. Look at his 16-year-old sister. Send messages to them. Tell them what's what. Look at these guys. Look at that podcast. Leave negative comments here now. This podcast had Hassan Piker on. Negative comments now, fans. Go, go, go. He's figured out how to make streaming truly interactive. It's like Twitch plays Pokemon for 2025. Great work, Ethan. Great moves. Good job. Proud of you. Incredible.
He had an episode recently, 2 weeks ago, with Hassan called "Do You Condemn Hassan?" Like, do you condemn?
They talk to Hassan. Even more reasons to attack them, dude. Great work.
He supports Hamas. Here it is. I just want to show you the beginning of this. By the way, Bad Hasbara, he has a podcast where he just solely shits on Israelis. That's what Bad Hasbara is. It's like a meme.
Hasbara is a meme.
Propaganda.
Hasbara
it's like
means
a weird slur that people started picking up, calling just like Hasbara means like a lying Jew, essentially.
Oh my God, this guy Hasbara is literally a term directly used by the Israeli state for their propaganda. Like if you go to the first result on Google, Wikipedia for Hasbara, the contemporary term Hasbara was introduced by Nahum Sokolov, an Israeli Zionist, which it translates roughly to explaining. It's a communicated strategy that seeks to justify actions and is considered reactive and event-driven. And now, since the term has taken on a negative connotation because we call it out, now they call it public diplomacy. I'm pretty sure this article used to be called Hasbara and they changed it because Israel changed the term they use, but the Spanish wiki page still has the old version, which says Hasbara is a term used by the Israeli state and for independent pro-Israel groups to describe its efforts to explain the policies of the Israeli government and to promote Israel's image in the world. So Ethan Klein says Hasbara is an anti-Semitic slur. This guy is so far down the Zionist pipeline, he's going to show up outside of Rail HQ with a fucking gold star on his shirt next week. It's that bad. It's that fucking bad. He's at that level of self-victimization. This guy is crazed. Actually mentally unwell, needs help immediately, but he's not going to get it. He's just going to keep doing this shit.
All right, come on with what kind of intro is this, man? Cut to the chase here.
It's an intro song that is mocking the fact that Israelis claim that they own fucking everything. That's the intro. What's the problem?
Too bad. Listen to this intro.
You're actually going to watch something? Are you sure about this? This is a mistake, Ethan.
And welcome to Bad Hasbara.
the world's most moral podcast. Matt, you're okay.
I'm alive. Ladies and gentlemen.
I didn't know if I was going to be doing.
Are you sure you want to watch this, Ethan? What if they say like an actual point and you have to respond? This is a mistake.
Here's my baddie. Here's my baddie. Baddie and Banana.
Store.
He's a straight baddie.
Hannah for being such a
When she comes out, please.
What are they just watching an Israeli showing clothing and shitting on her? Like, is that what they're actually doing? Hold
He
on.
does this constantly.
Sorry, I know this is a tangent.
It's a TikTok video of a fucking rich New York white woman who trying to sell clothing that she named after individual hostages, and it's just so like rich bourgeois white women bullshit, and we laughed at it, and I will do it again any day. Ethan Klein did this same thing where it's just like, what are they doing? Just laughing at an Israeli, when it was like Hassan showing footage of like crazed Israelis rampaging and destroying aid settlements for Gaza. And he just called them normal, everyday people who look like they're doing charity. He does this all the time.
I just want to watch when he introduces him. Okay, here.
I told him to introduce me as an international criminal. I hope he did.
And,
that's what Karen Bass meant to say.
Yes, that was the URL thing. It's the spin.
Songs about I'm going to do for this, Dan.
How hard is it to find this
I couldn't knock evacuate them, bitch in the West. It was just
This is a professional podcast. This is a professional podcast, by the way. You're watching professionalism. There's like 10 people on this crew.
Shout out Adam Levin. Ladies and gentlemen, everyone else, please welcome Bad and Banana.
Yeah, I just want to point out Matt Lieb and Daniel Mate are both Jewish. So I think the Hasbare's anti-Semitic slur thing isn't going to work here, and it wouldn't work anyway. Gigantic.
Kill Ela Klein. What a fucking...
Yeah, dude, that was clearly said there. He just like inserts something that he made up in there. Like, oh, this guy definitely said to attack Ela Klein. He definitely said that. He just makes something up and moves on. He gets fucking too sick of what he's watching 2 seconds in. Can't even get to the points. Especially tries to avoid the points fucking intentionally. My God.
Scumbag. He should be fired. No question about it.
I mean, that is probably related to the fact that his former housekeeper fired him for a number of different reasons. So I would assume he doesn't actually have a housekeeper anymore, or perhaps he lost his extra housekeeper. So now the house is just like covered in dog shit, and he has kids, and his kids like crawl into the dog shit. And God forbid.
Look at her chat. So this to me is like very important clip. This was streamed Monday, March 1st, 2 days before the CPS call came in. The call was made on the 3rd. This clip happened on Saturday. The call came in on Monday, exactly preceding that. Wow, and look at the comments. Call CPS. Child endangerment.
If someone called fucking CPS on you and they show them the clip of you outright saying on your podcast that your kid contracted Giardia, and then you go on to say that you think they got it from eating dog shit outright yourself, you said that you think it's contracted from eating dog shit. You said you thought that's basically the only way. Ethan, if someone showed that clip to CPS and CPS said they want to come to your house because of that, not only is that fair grounds for a CPS visit, but you're making things actively worse by going live and bitching about the CPS visit rather than working on your parenting to make sure that the problem doesn't happen again. Imagine the CPS officers watching this. This is why I don't think this is at all real. This is why it's quite likely that this is bullshit, because who in their right fucking mind would get visited by CPS and immediately just start fucking posting like shit on the internet where they're literally gyrating, sniffling, coughing, and going crazy, not about the fact that CPS thought that they were bad parents, but rather about the fact that someone reported them for something they factually said on their own podcast, which CPS found on its own merits concerning enough to warrant an investigation. An investigation, not just a visit, an investigation. You're making this so much fucking worse on yourselves. Do you not realize that? This is going to look so fucking bad. You know they're watching the shit you upload. Of course they are. What are you fucking doing? I feel bad for you because you don't realize this, or maybe I shouldn't feel bad for you because this is indicative of the fact that you're not taking this seriously at all. You're just like farming it for content. You're farming it as ammo to like basically try to get back at the same people who you haven't been able to debunk on the facts this whole time. That's all it is for you. That's all it seems to, all you seem to care about. Using it as ammo against your fucking internet enemies who you can't debunk on the facts, so you just try to frame them as like criminals who called fucking CPS on you, when for one, you have no evidence of that, and for two, a CPS visit based on what you said on the fucking podcast was warranted anyway, and your reaction to that should be, Not, oh my God, how fucking dare this happen to me, and frame CPS like it's fucking swatting. CPS is a random guy trained to work with kids with a clipboard. It's not fucking swatting, Ethan. Nothing like that. You frame that as like something traumatizing and horrible. They're conducting an investigation. They're not interrogating your kids, they're interviewing them. And they're interviewing them because of you oversharing on your podcast. According to you, you said your kid got a parasite, and then you went on to say that you think this parasite is only contracted by eating dog shit. The implication of that is clear. The CPS officer obviously would have taken that reasoning from it, and they would have been concerned about that. If it was reported by someone, there's so many culprits, aside from a random streamer's chat, your ex-housekeeper, the doctor who you took your kid to regarding the parasite. Any one of these people would have had to report Giardia in a fucking, what is it, like a 10-month-old kid? And then you're just making it worse. What are you fucking doing? It's honest, it bothers me actually, because he should be like fucking hampering down and trying to prove to them that he's a perfect parent, not doing this. You're just making it worse on yourself.
CPS, social.
You tell everyone that there's shit all over your floors and that your kid got a parasite from it on your podcast that got like 400,000 views. What the fucking hell did you expect, Ethan, man? Should I show you the clip again? Why not? For good measure. This is clearly the clip that prompted the CPS visit. Ethan says his kid got Giardia. He thought he had it. Hila had it. And then after that, he said that he thinks that you get Giardia from eating shit. The implication of that, like shit being on the floor is so normal in his house that his immediate thought is that his kid is eating shit. It's crazy, Ethan. If it's true, you shouldn't have said this. Why do you just overshare like this? It's so weird. You brought this shit on yourself. No one else did this except yourself because you said this. Why would you say this shit live? Like, you just straight up said, like, your house is a dump covered in dog shit. Your kid's got a parasite from it. And then you got made fun of for that. And you're surprised?
One part.
And the evil people are the ones who made fun of you for this embarrassing shit that you said live on stream. Not you for fucking saying this. Why would you say this if it wasn't true? What the fuck is wrong with you?
But the next part is,
what's the next?
That Olive has Giardia, which is it's a bacterial infection in the intestines that makes you have diarrhea.
And Olive has this?
Olive has this, yeah. She came to us with it.
Okay.
She had diarrhea, and
oh, baby.
Ducky came to us with that too. And I just wonder why.
I'm just disappointed.
It's relatively
It should be. They should have found it already.
Like,
Anyway.
I almost feel bad about doing this. It's like the defamation where he tries to paint me as like a convicted pedophile that makes me just, I don't care anymore, man. Like, it's just such a spiral from him. It really does almost make me feel bad because this guy should be hunkering down and doing everything that he possibly can right now to like make sure the CPS investigation goes nowhere. But he's doing this. He's just streaming about me, gyrating. He looks like he's on drugs. Like, come on. You have to be more careful in this, man. What are you doing?
So she has Giardia, so we have her on an antibiotic, but we had to wait until Monday, which is today. We just got it today. And, well, Sonny's crawling around. He's putting everything in his mouth. He's at that age. He has Giardia.
Oh, shit.
Oh.
And now Hila has Giardia.
Shut. For real?
And now I think this morning I had diarrhea.
Oh my God.
The punchline is coming.
What can I do to not get it?
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Because I'm not trying to get it.
Crank the AC, maybe?
It's extremely ridiculous to get. You have to ingest my poop.
Oh, why did you say that? Right after you said that your kid got it from putting random shit in their mouth. Why would you say that? And then you act surprised that it gets picked up on by CPS. You act surprised that you got made fun of for having a house covered in shit when you said that. If someone who was your enemy said something like this, you would jump on it and do the exact same, you fucking liar. The thing is, your enemies don't say embarrassing shit like this constantly, so you can't, and it fucking hurts you, doesn't it? I don't believe this CPS thing, given the way that he's acting. He clearly does not seem fazed by this. For him, this seems like nothing more than a convenient way to attack all the same people he was already attacking. It seems like bullshit. I want to see real proof of this before I believe it, and none of you should believe it until you do as well. The way that he is acting is not the way that a parent who is in their right mind would act if they were being investigated by CPS. He's just making things worse if it was true.
Service bro needs someone to call CPS. That's child. It's every comment.
Yeah.
How did they get the memo? Every single fucking comment.
It is child endangerment. What you said in that clip is child endangerment, Ethan.
If their kids have Giardia, they actually need to be taken away. Like, that is, how could you? kids get
Wow, a random Twitch account named Glurp said that. It's the smoking gun you got.
That's not that weird. Actual worst father ever. So Ethan isn't only sexualizing underage girls, he's also neglecting children, bro. That's just insane. Like
I showed the Boston bombing video. You want to see Ethan Klein sexualizing an underage girl? It's 100% true. Sex pest Ethan Klein. Check out the video. I will play one specific part because I do not want to watch this video. It genuinely bothers me. I will play one part that is him specifically sexualizing a girl he framed as underage.
Anyway, ignoring the camel, fucking that fat, juicy, juvenile vagina. Nigga wants to fuck that shit, boy. Yeah.
Okay. Justified statement. You sexualized what you said was a juvenile. Justified.
I don't know what the fuck.
They should show that one to fucking CPS as well.
Decliner needs to take care of his kids.
Just from like,
Jerry means you're leaving your dog shit on the floor for a while and your kids are walking on it, probably eating it.
Contact with it.
Yeah, you said that on your stream,
Ethan. You said that was happening on your stream.
His youngest baby contracted Giardia and his entire family has it now because the rescue dog got it and was shitting in the house. Yeah, and again, I clarified that actually nobody ended up having it, but all of So this is what she's...
It doesn't matter if you clarified later. You said this. You said that yourself on your fucking podcast. Not everyone has to go to your podcast. Not everyone is obliged to go there and get your updates on your kids' parasites and whether or not they ate shit, Ethan. The fact that you yourself said that it is more than enough. You've been citing defamation against tons of people. What happened like a month ago? You said that you were going to make a video with evidence that Hassan Piker is a rapist. You fucking didn't do that, did you, Ethan? Just fucking dissipated into nothing. You do this constantly. For what we say about you, we have clear evidence of you admitting it. You make shit up about people and then it never surfaces. This happens constantly. You fucking liar.
This is her community while she's watching Bad Empanada talk about it. 2 days before the call came in.
They contracted a parasite that I had previously never heard of in my life called Giardia.
And then just look at her dumb fucking face.
That is all over his house.
Dude, how is it?
I love the level of research.
True. Yeah.
I love the level of research. Dude, how dare you of all people say that?
Is this true?
It is true. You said it on your podcast. We went over it multiple times.
Everybody in chat saying call CPS. Is this true even?
How is it?
Just from like contact with it with their hands or something. But they contracted a parasite.
I was actually generous to him there. Contact with the hands or something. I was generous because he didn't just say that. He said that it was from eating shit in his own words. I was so generous there.
Man, like show some respect, show some grace, dude. Show some.
What? You literally dox people's mothers on stream, you dumb fuck.
Like,
shut up.
At least a little judgment. I know it's like you think you can say and do anything you want about me ever, all the time.
Oh my God, the projection is so crazy.
You're talking about my kids. Your chat is saying call CPS. You don't want to say any single fucking thing about that? You sick, twisted, evil woman.
This is going to look so bad for CPS that he's doing this instead of working on making sure that their investigation fails. Like, what the fuck is this?
Right, that I had previously never heard.
You're just gonna sit there doing, oh my God, like ooh, or what's the
I want to notice as well how he largely skips over me. He skips over me. It's very quick, very rushed, and then he focuses on denims because she's a woman. Ethan Klein hates women. Ethan Klein specifically avoids men. Like me, I am going after him so much harder than Denims is. And sure, he attacks me, but he saves his worst, not for me, for saying it initially. He saves it for the woman who is just reacting to me. He only feels comfortable going.
All right, I crashed. I was going to go for another 15. Oh, okay, are we back?
Going after women. And he dedicates the fucking way more of this to her than he does to me. I think he knows that she's going to be more afraid of this than I am. She's going to be a lot more scared of this than I am because I think he's already realized he can't do shit to get at me. I don't get intimidated by this shit, and he's going after her, like the woman, the easier target, the one who isn't making my videos initially, who's just reacting to them. He just complains about her for way longer than he complained about me. Maybe I think here he might go back to complaining about me. He just complains about people watching
by
me.
Wide margins now, okay?
By the way, this is all recent too.
Oh, this is on the Bad Empanada live channel. He didn't put this on the...
You notice how the best that he can do is say, these guys, watch this guy. Oh, this is horrible. This is bad. They can never explain why. All they can do is frame me as an international criminal mastermind. And then they never provide proof of that. They never actually watch the videos that the people who are watching my videos are are watching to explain why what I'm saying is wrong. They know they can't.
Normal channel. Oh my lord.
Massive promotion.
Oh, dude, that empanada went from bad to good empanada.
That's the channel where he said he wants to kill me and Hila, by the way. So
Bad empanada went from bad empanada to
Oh my
beast
god.
empanada.
He's like he wanted to kill me. He played a video game where you fight Israeli soldiers as a fucking Palestinian resistance fighter. That's incredible.
yeah, anywho, yeah. So go watch the video without recapping the whole thing.
He's skipping over the part where he said that he would sue me because he knows that he can't. He knows that he's too scared to do so because I am right and he is wrong and he would lose.
The old main channel, H33 Producatons.
I do like the choice of watch you picked for the video.
Oh, he
Thank you.
moved on.
Let's keep it. Yeah, I wanted to keep it.
Is he done? Why are there Discord? He's going over the fucking Discord screenshots claiming that there's a conspiracy against him again. This is such a train wreck. I'm glad that he covered me again because it's just funny at this point. It's free content for me. I'm gonna milk it. Like the amount of money that I get from this compared to making a 1 hour long a video essay is so disproportionate that the perverse incentive to do so, to just react to Ethan Klein talking about me, is so great. Like it's so little effort. It takes so little time. It's honestly so funny. Like I'm gaining a reputation as a comedian because of this. I never knew I was funny before. I thought I was the least funny person in the world. Who knew? Soon I might be doing stand-up. Ethan Klein is like giving me a whole career as like a fucking YouTuber who just makes fun of YouTube dumbasses. He's giving me a mansion. He's paying off my fucking house. Well, okay, I don't own a house. I own a prison cell. But he's paying it off all the same. Ethan Klein can never do self-deprecating humor. He would never say anything like that. Fucking loser. Like every time he talks about me, it just benefits me. I gain subs, he loses them. I get tons of views. I get a ton of money. What does he get? His podcast is fucking catapulting. I don't know if that catapulting. Falling down the fucking stairs. Like fucking Sweet Bro and Hella Jeff. I don't remember which one of them fell down the stairs, but one of them did. It's just pathetic. Every day that he dedicates his podcast, like half of it, to just screeching about people on the internet who don't like him, he ensures the downfall of his overall internet career. What more is there to say, really, guys? There is another Bad Empanada video covering Ethan Klein's dumb shit. I mean, honestly, I hope he keeps talking about me so that I can keep making these videos. It's just so easy, man. I could fucking fund it in my own animal shelter or something because of you. I should do that. I should do that. Let's go.
Falling behind, Crimson.
He's blue.
How is justice served? What is justice? Just deserves zero space in whatever we call the left. Giving even an inch is a betrayal to the resistance in Palestine, to the student intifada, to the militants across the global south working tirelessly to hold their governments accountable. We give no room to fascism. Okay, like, I agree. I like Hyatt a lot. I want her to be successful on this platform, but I think describing, like, and I don't even know if she's talking about Yuval here, but describing Yuval as a bloodthirsty fascist is ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
What does Yuval ultimately want? What is he ultimately working for? Have you thought about that? He's against the settlements. He's against the genocide. Great. Excellent. What does he want in the long run? Would he be okay if it was found that his land was actually owned by a Palestinian family and he had to leave? Would he be okay with that? That he's even there is ridiculous, right? Like they've posted videos of him like screaming at Israeli soldiers. There are thousands of Palestinians who scream at Israeli soldiers every day. Why is it that when an Israeli does it, you're suddenly spotlighting it? It's suddenly special. Why? Yuval is the filmmaker of the Israeli guy with the Israeli token on no other land. Why is it that when an Israeli does it, it's special? What is the effect of propping that up? What does that result in? Well, for one, he's a liberal Zionist. This is very clear from the fact that he went up on stage and used a supposedly Palestinian film to spread liberal Zionist talking points about the hostages, aka illegal frontier settlers and about the crime of October 7th. He talked about how Israelis deserve national rights and how there should be national rights for both peoples. What is an Israeli? An ethno-nationalist constructed settler colonial identity. We know what that means. He wants to somehow maintain the national rights of Israelis. That he's against the West Bank occupation and the settlers there does not change that. Even if that was not true, what is the effect of like having a video where there's 10 people screaming at Israeli troops, 9 of them are Palestinians, and we focus on the Israeli. What is the effect of showing that to people? Oh, it looks like the Israelis aren't actually the enemy. It looks like the Israelis don't actually support the occupation and the genocide of Palestinians in their settler colonialism. It looks like they don't actually support that because it's within their self-interest to. And it looks like we can actually appeal to them and turn them into more Yuvals. So there's no need for us to fight them anymore. That's one effect of it. Another effect of it is that the focus is changed to a focus that sympathizes with Israelis. Because now that we have this supposedly good Israeli, who is supposedly reformed and doing good things for the Palestinians, now we move to this sort of idea where, maybe it would be wrong to do something that could inconvenience them. Maybe it would be wrong to restitute the Palestinians, which would necessarily require taking what the Israelis have taken from them. So you share this video spotlighting the Israeli. The effect of that is you push people towards liberal Zionism. That is the effect. Does that mean that this guy should not be doing what he's doing? To be frank, I don't really care. What he does doesn't change anything. Whether you believe it or not, having an Israeli do the same thing as Palestinians, all it is there is another voice except he's not going to get shot. That's the only real difference. It honestly doesn't matter. I'm not concerned with questions about this guy's individual worth, though he is a piece of shit for getting up on stage and trying to insert liberal Zionist bullshit. But ultimately, the fact that he's there is a net negative, a massive net negative that pushes people towards liberal Zionism. The fact that this film ultimately had to water down its narrative and be far less blameful and far less diagnostic of the issue than it could otherwise have been is a travesty. I think that things would be better if this film did not exist, because ultimately what this film is taken as, regardless as the intent of the Palestinians involved in its production, is little more than a collaboration between Israelis and Palestinians, and as an example of how there is an intertwined future of these two peoples. And as you've all said on stage, all that needs to be done is sign the Bill of Equal Rights. Everything is fixed. This is wrong. This is liberal Zionist propaganda, whether it is meant to be or not. It is creating this sort of feel-good idea that Israelis and Palestinians can work together for Palestinian liberation, which influences what people actually perceive Palestinian liberation to be, to the point where it's not actually Palestinian liberation at all. Because this is simply not true. This is feel-good liberal bullshit, where you imagine the oppressor and the oppressed coming together and putting flowers in the soldiers' rifles and then they kiss. It is not going to happen. Israelis support Zionism. Zionists elsewhere, Jews who aren't even Israelis, support Zionism because they fundamentally recognize Israel as beneficial to them materially. You can talk about it, but it corrupts the soul or whatever. That doesn't fucking matter. What matters is the fucking reality. These people see a country where they can move to and get a free house whenever they want, get subsidized by the government to live in that house, in fact. They're given special privileges and they get to live in an exclusive, epic, awesome community specifically for people like them. And they're sign me up. And Israelis, born into it or not, they get immense material privileges because of Israel. You don't fight that by appealing to their humanity and their morality. It's a losing battle. This is why, even in the few cases when there are Israelis who pertain to be advocating on behalf of Palestinians, they don't join the Palestinians. They don't join the Palestinian groups. You ever seen an Israeli in the Al-Aqsa Marches brigades? I haven't. Do you know why? Because ultimately they don't aim for the same thing. Their interests are not aligned with the Palestinians. They do not want what the Palestinians want. They don't want Palestinian return. They don't want any sort of solution that could result in an inconvenience to the Israelis. Aside from maybe the settlers in the West Bank, they might be okay with that. They might want a two-state solution. They might even want a so-called binational state with equal rights for everyone. But they do not want material justice. They don't want restitution. They don't want restoration. That's why the Israelis form their own groups rather than joining Palestinian ones, because fundamentally they don't have shared interests. They're not advocating for the same thing in the end. They might be advocating for the same thing on an individual issue level, they might equally be against, say, a specific Israeli settlement or something, but their fundamental goals are not aligned. At best, they can be temporary allies of convenience. And even if they can be temporary allies of convenience, focusing on them and being look at what this Israeli group has to say, can only lead people towards their goals and their aims. towards liberal Zionism in the end. Even if these are groups, and to be clear, there aren't any groups that are actually for a real one-state solution with real restoration and restitution, but even if there was such a group, hypothetically, to focus specifically on them would, as I said earlier, just lead people into believing that, oh, hey, look, Israelis can be reformed. Hence, we don't actually need to fight Israel. What we need to do is like reason with them and bring them over with our moral arguments about how what they're doing is wrong. You are never going to convince someone in like maybe in like 1 out of 10,000 cases where you do find someone who's like a moralistic hipster. Outside of those cases, you're not going to convince someone to go against their fundamental interests to the point that